Wings, now half price every Wednesday night. Wash them down with a cold pint of Canadian or Coors Light for only $5.75. Half price Wing Wednesdays at First Round in West Ed and now downtown. First Round, burgers, beer, sports.
Planning your next event? Let Loca Quality Market cater. From made-to-order meals to gourmet platters to full chef tasting experiences, they make entertaining effortless. Visit loca.ca to start planning today.
Fountain Tire. Get up to 25% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until October 18th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
At Wendy's, $4 gets you more than just a burger. It gets
The
you
0-2. Line drive. Wait, the Reds 2-zip. And they'll take on the Phillies in the division series.
But hurry, this deal ends October 26th.
He swings and hits it hard. Since the Yankees are on the ball, get it started.
Easy go. Whether it's a lifted with accessories or choose a ready-to-go option. Trusted by Albertans since 1997 for quality. Visit golfcartpeople.com to find your cart and hit the road or fairway your way.
He swings and hits it.
It's big.
This is that original. This has no identical. You can't hack my digital. Future aboriginal. Get up off my genitals. I stay on that pinnacle. Kill you with my lyricals. Call me verbal criminal. Send you to that clinical. Subscribe you some chemicals. Audio and visual. Can't see me. Invisible. I'm old school like biblical. Futuristic next level. Never on that.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Line drive by Mookie Betts. And that'll do it. The Dodgers sweep the Reds 2-zip. And they'll take on the Phillies in the division series.
On Sports 1440.
He swings and hits it home. This is back and the Yankees are on the board. 2-run home run off fail to get it started.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
The ground shortstop. Bogart stumbles, flips to second. Double play. The Padres win it.
Thursday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, as well as our YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram pages. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching the show. If you are just joining us, whether it's online or on the radio, we appreciate having you here. This afternoon, lots going on. MLB baseball playoffs. The Tigers in an elimination game. Of course, the winner will move on from this game, take on Seattle. Meanwhile, the winner of the Yankees and the Red Sox later tonight, 6:08 Edmonton time will be the first pitch in that one. And whoever wins that game will be jetting over to Toronto for a game on Saturday afternoon. Meanwhile, Edmonton Oilers last night, despite out-shooting Seattle, they only gave up 17 shots. They lose 4-2. Obviously, one of those goals, just a preseason blunder, if we call it that, from Calvin Picker, goes to play behind the net, just gives it away. It's an easy empty net wrap-around goal, I should say, and that kind of changed the game, I would think, a little bit. So we'll touch on that. I don't know if you had any of those of you who watched the game, if you had any major takeaways from the game. For me, I would look at, I thought the young guys in Matt Savoy and Howard both showed, hey, like these guys are close. But I always caution everybody, preseason hockey is not regular season hockey. Even last night, I don't know if I would say that was 70% of an NHL game, maybe. I don't know if you can put an actual number on it or not, but it's not the same. I used to get excited over, players coming up in preseason. I'm sure many of you, I know the Ty Ratty one. Remember Magnus Pie-Harvey? Guy was unreal in the preseason. It's preseason. It is completely different at times. So we'll touch on that. All I know is Matt Savoy clearly has the trust of his head coach. Matt Savoy's playing a lot of minutes. He had the most minutes of any forward last night, just under 20 minutes. He played 4.5 minutes on the power play, played almost 2 minutes on the penalty kill. So they like using him, right? Curtis Lazar, obviously a main penalty killer amongst the forwards last night. Also, after that, it was kind of spread out. He played the most. And then you had, Mangiapane used on the PK, which I can understand it. Because if you look at how the Oilers run their power play, their first unit's probably going to get at least $120, maybe a little bit more. So you got to find ways to get other guys involved. It looks like Trent Frederick, him and Henrique last night. Now, obviously in a different position for Henrique, but David Tomasic was another guy in the last game that he played. He was the net front presence. So we might see a split between Tomasic and Frederick because I think they offer different things at times. Tomasic definitely could one-time the puck better. There's no debate on that. Frederick might have better hands in tight. I'd have to see before I can make that statement or not. But I don't know if there's anybody who stood out for you last night. Like I didn't see anybody that I looked and said, you know what? Did they hurt their cause? Right? Well, I'll say this. To me, Leppinen, I know a lot of people like, oh yeah, he moves the puck. He makes if you look at that, was it the third goal? So he's playing left defense. They have a clear breakout on the right wing. He's the left defenseman, and he just comes down and puts himself in no man's land. It's an easy out, and now he's on the back check. They score on the rush, and it's good night, Irene. And so I look at Leppinen, and it's just that there was a little bit of looseness there that he'll need to tighten up if he wants to become an NHLer. And I've seen that in games, right? He's not afraid to take chances, which is awesome. Sometimes you got to take a chance to make a play with the puck. But when you don't have the puck, you can't make a play like that where you just kind of enter the zone and you do nothing. You got to hold back there because you have zero chance of knocking that pass down. You're not close enough to make contact with him. You do nothing. So that's kind of what stood out to me last night. And the first unit power play, it's impossible to evaluate it really. All I know is Tomasic's the guy who had it the last time. We've seen Frederick there. That's probably who we're going to see. The one thing I will notice, it's preseason, but Darnell Nurse is having a really good preseason for him. I understand it's preseason, so I'll repeat that it's preseason. But Nurse has performed pretty well in the preseason. He's at what has he got? 2-3 goals already, I think, so far. You're not expecting big load offense, but Nurse has shown in the past he can contribute offensively. And the Oilers last year were a pretty good team providing offense from the back end. Not just Bouchard. Obviously, Bouchard did. But remember, Bouchard, it took forever for him to score a power play goal. I think his first power play goal, wasn't it? Might have been the empty netter, if I'm not mistaken. So I look at the Oilers back end, and they're very offensive. They can move the puck, and they'll help. Obviously, if you look at in the regular season last year, I think the Oilers were 6th in defenseman points and 5th in goals. So it's kind of what you would expect from them, and maybe more with Wallman being there full time. Right? Wallman's a good playmaker. It's offensively very good in the offensive zone. Obviously, Evan Bouchard, Ekholm, and Nurse definitely can hold their own offensively. And the other guy who, I don't know about you, Cons, but I've quietly liked Ty Emberson. I think Ty Emberson has had a pretty good preseason. He looks to me a lot more comfortable than he did last year.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think that's going to come, right? With experience, things slow down a little bit. I'll hold off full expectations till we get to the regular season. But I thought there was glimpses last year where we thought that this guy could be someone that you could rely upon, throughout the regular season. In the playoffs, we know what happened. We don't have to get into it. But as a younger player, a guy who's an up-and-comer and is only going to get better with more experience, Gregor, I think for sure there's something there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it can be tougher for his style of play, right, to really pop on screen.
Yeah.
He's going to be a guy who's been counted on more as a defensive player. So, yeah, I think there's some room to grow there in his game for sure.
Yeah. So I've liked Emerson. And, if Emerson just becomes a steady third pair defender who's good on the penalty, he's got to be good on the penalty kill. Now, and the other thing with Emerson, he can't get hit as much as he was. For a guy who played as little minutes as he did, to get hit the most, that's a red flag. That shows you you got to move the puck quicker. And that's the thing that I'll be watching for with Emerson, is just how many hits has he taken, right? He takes a lot of hits, and that's my one concern. You got to move the puck quicker, right? If you're taking hits all the time and you're not a guy who's a puck carrier or a guy who has the puck a lot, that's not a great combination. So that's something I'll be watching for with Emerson. I know he plays against the other teams, maybe more physical players at times. So that's a small factor, but he's not the only third pair defenseman in the NHL who plays against those guys. So, Greg's, what'd you think of Regula last night? I thought it was okay. I like to look at, I know they wanted to give him ice time. I think he played third most minutes last night. So, that was good. Why not? What you've got in Troy Stetcher, right? I think he played 5 more minutes in Stetcher. Obviously, his size is the most noticeable difference. There's no question. Right? And size does matter. Like Regula, I just wonder. I think he's deceptively good moving the puck. That's the one thing I've noticed is I think his puck skills are pretty good. And his size, you can't he's just long. He gets in the way. And I think that's a good thing. So I didn't mind his game last night at all. I think he's put himself in the mix. And I think they have, they've got a tough decision to make here. In the fact that, do you risk putting him on waivers? Now, I know that Edmonton claimed him last year from Boston, so it only takes one. And he's a right shot defender. There's not a lot of them, right? There just isn't, especially guys that big. So now, do I think he's not going to play with Nurse, right? But we need to see, is Jake Wallman going to play on Friday night? Because if he doesn't, well, now you might be keeping Regula anyway, because maybe Jake Wallman's not ready to start the season. So we'll see about that. You hope not. They said they didn't think that was going to be the case, but we'll find out. I thought he played pretty well overall with Darnell Nurse. They didn't really get hemmed in their zone very much. Now, the Oilers as a whole team didn't. And that's the one thing I will say about the Oilers. They haven't given up very much at all in the entire preseason. I think that probably gets overlooked a little bit. But if you look at that, at the Oilers' overall defensive structure, and I understand it's preseason, I just look at who they're playing. And everybody that's played, it's been pretty simple. Hey, Gregor, play Lepid in the same spots you play Bouchard. I bet you're just as good for $9 million less from Brett. Brett, stop. Stop, Brett. He says Bouchard's terrible in his own zone. It hasn't changed. Brett, did you watch the playoffs last year? Honestly, Brett, did you watch the playoffs? What are you talking about that Bouchard's terrible in his own zone? Seriously, if you want to get upset because Bouchard, makes a play in late November that you don't like, okay, fine. It's okay, great. But suggestions that Bouchard was bad defensively last year in the playoffs are so... It's all you are is you're filled with rage and bias, and you can't get past the fact that sometimes Bouchard makes a play you don't like. And so you're just going to focus on that and nothing else. Because there's no other sane reason to suggest that Evan Bouchard is terrible defensively. Go look at his numbers. The numbers don't lie. Okay? Go look at his numbers. And he didn't have Matthias Ekholm, right? He didn't have Matthias Ekholm. So no one can use the, security blanket of Ekholm. Because it was valid if you're like, geez, yeah, Bouchard played really well in 2024, but he also got to play with Ekholm, and that helps. And there's no question it does. But wasn't there last year. And Evan Bouchard played exceptionally well. So, it's those suggestions just, they don't make sense to me, right? At all. He produces lots 5-on-5. It's not just on the power play, right? How many points did Bouchard have 5-on-5? The only guys who had more points than him 5-on-5 were McDavid and Draisaitl. That's it on the Oilers. So no, I'm not. I wouldn't get that worked up. And I hate Leppinen. Don't compare Leppinen to Bouchard. First of all, he's not 6'3". He doesn't shoot the puck like Evan Bouchard. Evan Bouchard has more 90-mile-an-hour point shots, like double than anybody else in the NHL. That's a weapon. It's a clear-cut weapon. So if you want to bring up real data that shows, don't just throw it out, oh, he's terrible. Show me the numbers that say Evan Bouchard is terrible defensively in the playoffs. Just show me the numbers. I'd like to see them because I don't think you'll find any. Is he going to be terrible? Is he going to make a play that makes you go, oh my God, in the regular season? Yep, he's going to. I'll tell you right now, he is. We've all seen it. But if you think that Evan Bouchard has been bad defensively the past few seasons, I'm just sorry. I don't buy it. I don't. I think he's pretty solid. He's not gonna win Defensive Player of the Year, but neither does Cale Makar. Neither does Quinn Hughes. But the difference is Bouchard's 6'3", so he gets in the lane, and that's all you want, right? Gets in the way, does it. Speaking of defensemen, another huge contract for a youngster, Jackson Lacombe. One day after Luke Hughes got $9 million, Jackson Lacombe gets an 8-year deal at a 9 AAV. So $72 million for Jackson Lacombe. Good money. I like it. So the Ducks, I don't know if they're ready yet to take a big enough step to get to the playoffs this year, but I think the Ducks will be an improved team. I wouldn't be shocked to see them finish 5th in the Pacific Division this year. I think the Ducks are going to, they're going to at least be, I think, of course, doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I think the Ducks are going to be in the playoff picture a little bit longer this year. I still didn't pick them to make the playoffs, but like last year, they had 80 points? I think they can be a 90-point team, which means you're in the hunt and you're around it. That's 5 more wins, maybe 4 more wins, 2 more overtime losses for them. I think that's decent. I think it's very plausible that it could happen. I like a lot of their team. They still, I don't love their team, but I think there's guys there that still have a lot of room to grow. And that's a good problem to have. Cons, where are you on the Ducks?
Well, I get to sit with a guy who's a pretty big Ducks fan. So I think he's trying to be cautiously optimistic talking about the Duke during Fantasy Frenzy. I like them. I like what they're building. Getting Mason McTavish, the extension done, I think was obviously something you're going to love to do. I love him as a player. Love the story of what he did, in like playing for 6 teams in 3 months or whatever it was. Just a crazy run that he had a couple of years ago. But yeah, I think they're going in the right direction. Tough division. Obviously, Edmonton and I think Vegas probably going to be the bullies of the division for a while. But I like the young players they brought in, shipping away some of their softer players, obviously, moving into a different direction here, the team that Pat Verbeek is building. And I do like Jackson Lacombe, still a young player, get him paid early. Same with, McTavish. Anyone you can lock up, the earlier you do it, the better it's going to look in a couple of years. So I'm a big fan of the moves that they've made. I think we've done kind of bold predictions, and I said second wildcard team would be like my tops for them, but can't argue with what they've been doing and the team that they're starting to build here. It seems like they've always been really good at drafting defensemen.
And the Oilers have made some moves. Cam Dineen and Riley Stillman have been placed on waivers for the purpose of obviously placed on waivers. And then they've also sent down Atro Leppinen, Quinn Hudson, Josh Szymanski, James Hamlin, Biljami Mariella, Connor Clattenburg. Those 3 had already sent down. So basically it's another 6 players sent down. So you look at tomorrow night's game, the Oilers had, I think, 9 bodies skating, and they just sent down 8. So it's pretty much going to be very close to a full roster tomorrow night for the final preseason game against the Vancouver Canucks. So they are down to, I gotta double check it, but I think they might have 1 D-man and 1 forward cut left to make, if I'm not mistaken. We'll have to double check on that. So it's very close for the Edmonton Oilers. And you know what? Those are some guys I'll be watching Leppinen down on the minors, Josh Szymanski, Quinn Hudson, guys you look to say, hey, where are they going to be at here down the road? So should be good. Coming up on the show today, Landon Ferraro is going to be our regular Thursday guest. He will join us. We got Thirsty Thursdays with Stephen Bezan will be by. We got Terry Ryan, Dave McCarthy, Livingston, Struds, Speck. We got a loaded show. Baseball playoffs to update you on. NFL Thursday Nighter and much more. It's the Gregor Show presented by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca. It is Thursday. You know what that means. The Daily Grand. Get your tickets, PlayAlberta.ca. You can win $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. That's $7.3 million. PlayAlberta.ca.
Whoa, who turned off all the lights?
Experience the new charcoal menu at Booster Juice.
Charcoal menu?
Introducing the Eclipse Smoothie, Blackout Booster Mixer, and Midnight Booster Ball.
Where's that voice coming from?
Dark and delicious, made with activated charcoal.
Can we please turn the lights back on?
Sorry, I'm just excited about the new charcoal menu.
Wow, that is good.
Right?
Available now, only at Booster Juice.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is sounding the call. Don't struggle through winter with a furnace you can't trust. For maintenance before winter strikes, call Legacy. Call Legacy. For furnace tune-ups and repairs to give peace of mind. Or to scrap your old furnace for a brand new high-efficiency one. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. And with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your new furnace, it's gotta be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Farm, ranch, acreage, or lake lot. They're here to help at Bashaw Concrete Products. Family owned and operated for 60 years. They continue to provide the best products and service, period. Call now for your free quote on the highest quality ready mix and gravel, a new septic tank, or an outhouse pad and tank, plus precast cattle water pads, garage sumps, and more. Call 780-372-3854 for prompt delivery. Bashaw Concrete Products, 780-372-3854. BashawConcrete.com.
Jason Gregor isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder. With over $2 million raised for local charities and his Gregor Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Gregor weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.221, welcome back. Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Sports 1440. Sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, as well as Oilers Nation. YouTube and Instagram. So thank you very much. Looking at the order sked, when you see all the moves they made today, you're going to see.
You're listening to Jason Gregor.
Preseason game, and usually teams play the majority of their roster. So anybody who's healthy and ready to go likely will be in that lineup. Expectations: Stuart Skinner's going to start. Bouchard, Ekholm, McDavid, Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins. All those guys are expected to play tomorrow night. It is the final preseason game. You maybe you get a little bit sharper on your power play and your penalty kill. So that's where it goes. Now let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints. You can always get your tickets for exciting Saints action. They are at home tomorrow night. So get your tickets, the brand new Thompson Family Arena, sgsaints.ca. As we're joined every Thursday now during the hockey season, former NHLer. He is the pre- and post-game host here on Sports 1440 for all the Oiler games. Landon Ferraro joins us. Landon, my man, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm excellent. Excellent. I want to get your thoughts. I don't know how much of that game, because I don't even know if you're in BC, it's probably blocked. You can't even watch it online. But the question for the Oilers comes down to, I think, their number 6 and 7 defense spot. You got Stetcher, you got Emerson, and then you got the new big guy, Alex Regula. Now, all three of them would require waivers if the Oilers make that an option to send down. Regula hasn't played in 18 months, but big body, and I haven't minded him in the preseason. I actually thought, like, the first game, I was like, ooh, but he's really improved. And I think when you haven't played in 18 months, your timing's off. But, Stetcher and Emerson are obviously a lot more proven. What do you think they do on their defense spot?
I mean, I'd have to say the same. Like, he looked pretty good last night. I was able to watch it through the Sportsnet Plus app, which had to battle my way into that one, but got in and was able to watch it. So it was nice, but he's big, he can move, he can handle a puck, and it's pieces that look really good and could be a good piece for this team. I think it's tough when you start looking at your options between the three. I think you're probably a little more worried about Regula getting taken just because he is younger and you don't know where the full upside is. And he's shown pretty well considering being out for that long. Like, that's a long time, especially for a young guy to be out and to come in and have the confidence and make plays that you're used to making. Like, it's one thing, I always found, I missed some decent amount of time a couple times with injury, and coming back, the hardest part I found was your mind says, okay, make this play, make this move. And just your hands didn't quite work. They're not quite up to speed yet. And you just you think the game quick enough, but you couldn't execute it. And the fact that he's making some really good moves from the top, he gets himself, he got himself into the slot a couple times last night and was decent defensively as well. I think if you're looking at it, I think you probably take a chance of one of the older ones, if they can squeak through. I think that it's a bit more known what you're getting. There's not the upside there. And, you know how it is at the beginning of the year, right before the deadline for rosters, there's a million guys that go on. So you hope to kind of squeak some of those guys through then. But Regula just seems to me like someone that will just, perk up some ears a little bit more.
Well, size matters on the blue line. There's no question about it. And the other thing is, Stan Bowman was the one. And I know that, hey, they acquired Emerson too, but when Stan Bowman's the GM who claims him, it's just always a little bit different, right? I just know it is. Hey, we picked this guy, they invested in him. Obviously, he rehabbed all of last year. So, now who knows? I don't know if he'll get claimed, but sometimes you're leery of it. So you say, geez, would Troy Stetcher get claimed? Maybe, right? He might, but they might look and say, well, we feel maybe in the long run, we're better off, with Regula, who's younger and he's bigger. So, and those are the tough decisions. He might not be as good as Stetcher, because the one thing about Stetcher is that guy's a gamer. He's played 500 NHL games because he knows how to play.
Well, he knows how to play, but the one thing that you definitely can't argue against Stetcher is you get maximum effort every time he's on the ice. Whether he makes the right play or not, Like, he is fully in, and that's something that is hard to let go for sure. I think the fact that Bowman was, part of it that brought Rugula from Detroit to Chicago, so he knows him from there already. So just saying, like, having that knowledge beforehand, and then the fact that they'd claim him coming or still injured essentially just shows like he trusts and knows that there's potential there. But I think the bigger piece is like he knows the person and what his work ethic is and how he goes at his craft. Like, those are the bigger things when you're talking about a younger guy as well, in that mid-20 range, is like knowing the personality and what type of worker he is. So like, clearly for him to take him last year, he's confident and on those sides.
Landon Ferrauer joins us, Sports 1440. Howard and Savoy, what'd you make of those two youngsters last night?
I mean, I'd say the first thing that I've noticed, I'm not saying that I was like focusing on them, but when they're on the ice, it looks faster. I mean, Savoy is an unbelievable skater. He moves extremely well, but if you look at the team in the past couple of years, like, there isn't a ton of speed up and down the lineup. And injecting those two young guys that obviously come with a lot of excitement, and I don't mean from the media and fan side, but like within themselves, like excited for the opportunity and really pushing the envelope, trying to make their case to be on their team. I thought that they made some good plays there around the puck. The work on the power play before Nurse's goal, like, I thought they moved around well and made smart decisions, not hope plays. Like, all those things, I thought they looked pretty good.
You look at, like, I'll say this, Howard's been a better skater for me, and than what some of the scouting reports I read. Like, now maybe he just got quicker in the offseason, I don't know, but speed to me hasn't been an issue with him at all. I think it's clear that the coach really trusts Matt Savoy. He's playing him in every situation. Obviously, he's not going to be on the number one power play when the big dogs come in here, but I think they trust him, and they're very different players. I think Howard's probably a little bit more of maybe an offensive threat, whereas Savoy at this stage, and he does have 1 year extra pro hockey, is maybe a little bit more reliable defensively, and that's okay, right? You need different guys on the squad. When you have him, you have Howard, then you throw in Mangiapane. Do you think on a playoff roster, because regular season is very different, on a playoff roster, can all three of them be in your top 9, do you think?
I think that's hard to answer right now, because, I mean, obviously I know you're going off of size, but, Mangiapane has, it's not like he's going out to crush guys, but like, he has a bit of bite in his game. I think you need to see Howard and Savoy in how they play through the season, and how many games do they get in? What does it look like? How do they handle themselves? I think that'll be, the biggest test and what'll give us our answer. I think right now it's tough to see all three in, but in saying that, like, if Savoy finds his way and can be a good two-way player for them, be on the penalty kill, because there's no reason that he shouldn't be. He skates extremely well. He's smart. He can stick in a battle, even though at his size. Like, I think that they can find ways to force their hand to where they need to be, all three in. And let's be honest too, like, looking at the team right now and what they have, even when Hyman comes back, like, they're going to need those players to have good years. Not saying that the season rests on those three, especially the two young kids having these unbelievable seasons, but the secondary scoring has been an issue in Edmonton, and you're always looking to the top two guys that it's, how many games last year was, even with McDavid out, like, the game was up to Draisaitl if they were going to win or lose, right? Like, there was a lot of instances like that. So I think with the two young kids, like, they have a real opportunity, because they're going to get a good opportunity just because of how the makeup is. Like, there's a chance there for them to really take a good step and provide that secondary side for the Oilers, and to the point where they can't be taken out, and you're okay with the size because they battle hard, they know the system, and they can play within it.
Landon Ferrauer joins us here, Sports 1440. The Oilers, I think the one thing when I look at their team, I would think the number one thing they are looking for at the deadline will be a scoring winger. I think they need another scoring winger. I think that, well, I know that they were really close to getting Rantanen last year. It's just the package they offered wasn't as good as what Carolina offered. And that's what it came down to. So Dallas. So they were clearly after they went to Carolina. And so they were clearly, they're big game hunting. And the one thing I keep hearing from a lot of people is Connor McDavid doesn't care about having to be the highest paid player. He wants to win. And so if he has to take, and I say less, like 14 or 15 mil, if that extra 2 million could go to them acquiring a bigger name player as a winger, I think that's something to look at. And I just look at the scoring wingers, Landon, and if they could get a finishing, like a guy who's a 35 goal scorer, not a hope 35, but a legit scorer, that'd make a big difference for this team.
Oh, it would be night and day, right? Like it would make it so much easier to have the two big boys split up. Like, Draisaitl was, he had Paul Colson for the majority of the year and then kind of cycled through the other side, and he's still able to have everything, like still be at his best and all of it. But you put him or McDavid with another scoring guy that the play not everything has to go through them every single time or it doesn't work. Like a guy that it can be on and off their stick and that one shot threat. Like think of what that opens up. I'll jump over a little bit talking about the power play, but looking at it 2 years ago to last year, like it was, a lot more stagnant last year. McDavid, is as good as he is. He's the best player in the world, but he seemed to defer the shot a lot more.
Yep.
Like if you can bring in that extra guy, now there's another real weapon there. And you don't for the PK, but even at 5-on-5, like you can't focus in as much on the one guy on the ice when they're playing separate. They got to really look to see where the other player is. Like it's just going to open up those two players more, but it'll give them a bit of relief as well of it doesn't have to always come off their stick. And they know that they're the best players. They know that they're the biggest pieces on the team, but it doesn't take, there's still people, like there's still stress there. There's still, they still got to perform. So, and adding that type of help, would be massive in the long run, but I think it would just give a bit more balance to where you can separate them and feel a little better about it. Because I think at the end of the day, they're starting together, but this team needs to have them on two separate lines.
Oh yeah. Unless they get like a legit, because the one player, if this team struggles, and the problem is I'm not sure how Edmonton could make it work, but the one player that I think would be an unreal get for the Edmonton Oilers would be Tage Thompson. He can play any wing position. He can play center. He's big. He's strong. At $7.1 million with the cap going up the way it is, it's an absolute steal of a contract. And he is so hungry to be on a competitive team. I'm a huge Tage Thompson fan, and it would take probably a lot to get him. But that organization, like they've made some very questionable trades in the past. So as it gets closer, Buffalo's out of it again. I know he's got 5 years left at a ridiculous cap hit. He's a guy that I would look at, and I wonder how many other teams. And because I wonder if he just asks out finally. Like if we get to Christmas time, Landon, and they're on their way to 15 straight years of missing the playoffs, I just wonder if Tage Thompson's like, okay, enough's enough.
Well, I mean, if you can somehow make that work, it's almost a no-brainer, regardless of what the give up is. Like the amount of finishing skill that he has, but again, he has the size. He can play that, kind of in the style of Draisaitl, where there's so much. Again, I'm not saying that he's him, but at the same time, like they're long, and the way that he can protect pucks and wait for plays to develop. He's a good skater. He's powerful. He's got that bomb of a one-timer. Like again, like think about those two on opposite sides taking one tees on a power play. Like it's something that you could get really excited about. I'd be real curious to see how they could make that work, kind of like what you were just saying. But no, like if there's a player like that available, that you can make work, like that is a huge addition in a way that this team hasn't had someone like that. Even, when Hyman had, his massive year a couple of years ago, he's a great player. Like, he's not like dynamic or the potential of dynamic like a Thompson is. Like, Hyman is a straight get to the net, good hands in tight and battles, and he does an amazing job at it. But Thompson can move, he can drive play, he can transport a puck. Like, it would completely change the look of their top six for sure.
Yeah, 100%. If you look at the orders, and what's your expectations for Trent Frederick this season?
I expect him to just steadily get better as the year goes on. I think, the game that they played against Vancouver, and then, just through the rest of it, I think that, he's gotten a bit better. He's starting to understand. Like, everyone thinks it's so easy to just go play with a McDavid or a Draisaitl, but like, you have to really figure out what you do and what they need. Because at the end of the day, they're the best players, and you want to make sure you're doing what's going to make them better, because that's only going to improve your stats and helping the team. So, I think that he's going to, the first little bit is more feel it out and, get used to, getting himself to the front of the net, being really good at retrievals and doing all those things. But slowly, as his game starts to come back, like, he played in the playoffs, but like, that's a tough time to just jump right back in after, especially his injury. Just slowly gain that confidence back and start to try to do more and more, not playing outside of his skill set, but, learning where you can use your skill playing with one of those two, right? Like, or both of them as of right now, like seeing where, what is the one thing that you can do that is going to benefit them, because it's only going to make him better. And that is being really good at the net front and on puck retrievals. And when you go into that battle, like, knowing how quick that you can win that puck and get it into one of their hands, because that's exactly what you need to happen. So I see him just slowly, getting better and better as the year goes along. I mean, he has the skill. It's just about finding that game again after, a long layoff.
Awesome stuff, Landon. We look forward to having you on every Thursday throughout the season. Appreciate it, man. And we'll see you next Thursday.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
There you go. That's Landon Ferraro, former NHLer. He's our pre and post game host here on Sports 1440. He'll join us in hour number 1 throughout the year on Thursdays. Got a lot of text flying in, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 in our eWell inbox. People wondering, hey, guys, I'm getting excited now that all the cuts are down. Who do you think are the final few cuts? From Frank? Well, I guess I'll go with the low-hanging fruit one first. I'm going to guess it's probably Jones, right? That would be the one. The back end, like, I don't know. Like, that one, I honestly, there's different ways they could go there on, Regula, because all three of them, Regula, Emberson, and Stetcher, all require waivers. Now, Jake Wallman, we were told that they thought he'd be ready to play on opening night. He might not play tomorrow. Because remember, that's what Knobloch said. Well, we're hoping to have him play Friday. If not, we still think he'll be ready for the season opener. So they're obviously not going to rush him for a preseason game. But if they don't think he's available, although they still, you could play 6 other D-men. You could still send a guy down for cap space. So it'll come down to a few things. Keep in mind that they don't want to start in LTIR. So whatever their roster is going to be, I think Zach Hyman is going to be on their opening day roster for a day. Then they could flip him if they want to LTIR, because, then you're maximizing your LTIR space. You don't get locked in at a certain number, all those different things. He obviously is not going to be put on season-ending LTIR, so it's there for a short period of time. And then, they could, if they wanted to, on him in LTIR, they could keep all 8 defensemen. So when you look at it, like, David Tomasic doesn't require waivers to be sent down, and he doesn't have any bonuses in his contract. That's the key thing. If you send a guy like Howard down, who doesn't require waivers, when you send him down, but then if you recall him, his bonuses count more. So his cap hit's actually higher. It's a weird little wrinkle. in the CBA, but you want guys on your opening day roster already with their bonus structure. So then if you do send them down and then you recall them later, their bonus isn't added on top of it. Does that make sense? Hopefully I explained that properly. So like if you're a guy who has $700,000 in bonuses, but you're a $900,000 cap hit, right, on your salary, your base, but you're not on the opening day roster, when they recall you, you actually count as 1.6 mil. So hopefully that clarifies it. So there's lots of little wrinkles that they'll have to look at. And I don't see anybody else that that's waiver exempt. Obviously, Isaac Howard has bonuses. Matt Savoy has bonuses. Tomasic's the guy who doesn't. So if they need to do some, don't be shocked if you see Tomasic sent down. I think that means it's a one-dayer, and it's all about being cap compliant for one day. Quick break. We'll return Thursday on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And many of you, this is something I think many of you are going to try to do this October. We'll try to help you out next.
When you have lifting and material handling needs, Northwest Crane delivers. Western Canada's Sandy dealer, backed by the industry's toughest one. 3 years, 3,000 hours, no compromises. They service all crane makes and models with skilled technicians and deep industry expertise. Alberta owned, with locations in Leduc and Grand Prairie, and fully equipped service trucks. Northwest Crane keeps your operation lifting. For more information on sales or service, visit northwestcrane.com or call today.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Ah, Hawaii. The warmth of a golden sunset as the waves roll in. The freshness of a waterfall. The lush scent of tropical flowers in the air. You don't need to travel to enjoy all Hawaii has to offer. You just need to order pizza. Bring Hawaii home with the Aloha Trio, available for a limited time at Papa John's. Try our classic Hawaiian, Super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken for just $19.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
At Fountain Tire, we're fluent in saving you money.
Fluent?
Yes, we've mastered the language of deals. Like right now, you can save up to 25% off select tires and up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires. Plus, $50 off $150 service when you buy those tires. All until October 18th.
I'm sorry, I don't speak deals.
Spend less, save more when you buy Round Black things from us.
Oh, got it.
Restrictions apply. Book your appointment online today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Yeah, can I get a...
Yes. A common reaction from a veggie lover. Always scanning, searching, longing. But wait, what is this we see? The new McVeggie, now at McDonald's.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit PlayAlberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Backed by popular demand, Folsom Prison Revisited. The story of one of the greatest concerts in history returns to the Jubilee Auditorium. November 22nd. Step back in time before, during, and after this iconic Johnny Cash performance, featuring Devin Brain from $1 Million Quartet and an all-star band. You'll relive an event that changed the life of Johnny Cash and changed music forever. Tickets at Ticketmaster.ca and at the Jubilee box office. Brought to you by Stars and Stories Live.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.247. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Hope you're having a lovely Thursday, man. I always say it, but it's true, man. October is unbelievable. There's so much going on in the world of sports. We got NFL tonight. We got 3 games, 3 elimination games in Major League Baseball. The first one going on right now has Detroit going up 2-1 on Cleveland. In the 6th inning, the Cubbies and the Padres, they're warming up. They're set to go in about 20 minutes time. And then just after 6 o'clock our time will be the Yankees and the Red Sox. So those of you working, you can catch that one in its entirety probably later on tonight. And then the games will begin on Saturday. Dodgers and Philly. Toronto will host either Boston or New York. And then you got Milwaukee taking on either Chicago or San Diego. And Seattle will have the winner of this Cleveland and Detroit game. So we already know one series, but we'll wait on the others. I also know our next segment, always good, always entertaining, always educational as we get to Thirsty Thursday, brought to you by Brook Liquor, 2 locations in Edmonton, southeast side on 50th Street and 92nd Avenue, and the original location, St. Albert Trail and 118th for the best selection. If you like to have wine, spirits, beers, non-alcoholic, all of the same cocktails, they got it all. So check it out at Brook Liquor. Stephen Bizan joins us once again, and hey, we wish a speedy recovery to our big man. So, Steve, I guess today, lots of people like to do Sober October.
That's right. Yeah.
It's like a new thing that, to be honest, I didn't really know. I'm not as cool as the kids nowadays, but I've been seeing it all over. It's like Sober October.
Yeah, it's becoming more and more popular. It started back in 2014 and just as sort of a smaller movement. And it's just grown and grown since then. It's becoming more and more popular. So we have Dry January, we have Sober October. There's lots of opportunities throughout the year to get sober curious and check out what's out there for non-alcohol drinks. And it's an interesting time to be working in a liquor store during Sober October. You would think it's, not our favorite time of year, but we love it because our non-alcohol section is just growing and growing, and it's becoming a huge focus in our business. I mean, I was just running numbers today. We have over 150 non-alcohol beers now in the store. Yeah. And like 50 non-alc wines, like countless RTDs, and up to about 40 different spirits now. So it's
what's
a
an
great
RTD?
Time. RTD is sort of the ready to drink cocktails.
Okay.
Yeah. So we actually got
RTDs, folks. Yeah. Come on.
Come on. Yeah. Sorry, that's a little industry speak snuck in there.
I like it. That's okay. Now we know. Now I'm gonna sound cool. Hey, let's go just give me an RTD. What? Oh, come on. How do you not know what an RTD is?
RTD is. Come on.
So today we're going to all non-alcoholic choices, and it's a mixture of beers and wines and what else? So what are we starting with?
Yeah, we have a whole mix of stuff. So we're kind of going to bookend it with beers. So we're going to start with the Bellwoods Stay Classy IPA. So this is Bellwoods. They're out of Toronto. They're one of the biggest names in Canadian craft beer. They do some amazing like
stuff. An old Molson can.
Yeah, they went for like almost the old, even the stubby bottle sort of look. They went for that retro vintage look, and this is their flagship. They have a whole lineup of non-alcohol beers, but this is sort of their flagship one. So it's a nice West Coasty IPA sort of thing. So if you're into that style, it's got
That's really light, man.
Yeah. It's super light. So obviously most of the non-alcohol versions of the styles are gonna feel a lot lighter on the palate. But like
chug that one all day
long.
long.
And then you can stay classy while doing it. And it's the thing that excites me most about the non-alcohol beer specifically is for so many years it was just all like they were just doing really light styles like lagers, that sort of thing. But I found the craft breweries now are expanding into different styles a little bit. So while this one is really light, it has like a really pronounced hoppy flavor to it. Like you get some of that bitterness, some of that sort of pine and grapefruit notes that you get from a classic IPA, but still nice and easy drinking. So this is one of my favorites. I have it in my fridge.
The name itself is why I think people would buy it simply so they could have the can and keep it on their stay classy, right? Because classy, it's in honor of Anchorman, I would assume. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I reference every time. It's stay classy.
Yeah, absolutely. You could crush a few of these. Or again, we talked about striping before. So if you want to mix in, have one real IPA, then crush this one after and kind of switch back and forth. If you want to moderate your drinking a little bit, I think it's a perfect option. But one of my personal favorites. All right. I love it.
So now this one I like. We haven't even tried it simply because it looks like orange pop.
It does.
Orange pop, like that was my go-to pop as a kid. Still, I don't drink pop much anymore, but if I do, I would still probably want to crush an orange crush. And literally, that's why I would want this, even though it's not pop. Probably doesn't have nearly the sugar that a pop has, but it looks like orange crush. So automatically, I feel like I'm gonna like this.
Yeah.
So what is it?
So this is BB, the aperitivo soda. So it looks like an orange crush. It's like that super vibrant orange color. It's all natural colors, natural flavors and everything too. And it's 70 calories, so pretty low sugar. And it's what it replicates. Have you ever had an Aperol spritz?
Yes.
Or even kind of similar to we did Negronis last week.
That one's gonna be hard to beat for me.
Yeah,
the look and the flavor, like the taste of it, like that is it. It kind of tastes a little bit like orange pop to me, not gonna lie, but it's not as sweet because you can, like, when you drink orange pop, you might as well just take a quarter cup of sugar and just put it in your mouth. Right? You can tell how sweet it is, but that one's not sweet. It's a little tart at the end.
Yeah, and that kind of that bitterness or that herbal bitterness kind of builds up on the end. So it's produced in Canada, but they import all authentic Italian ingredients. So they go for that really authentic Italian aperitivo.
Aperitivo.
Yeah,
it's called BB.
BB. Okay. Yeah, this has been a standard.
Small little can. It looks like just a little shot can.
Yeah, you could get it in. We usually sell it in singles, but it comes in 4-packs as well.
4-packs, 237 mil. All
right. It's a great one. You could garnish it with a little orange peel there if you want to. It's nice stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
Steve's always gonna say, anybody trying to look cooler, there you go.
Yeah,
little orange peel.
There you go. Look like you know what you're doing.
Now, is this wine that we're doing next?
It's wine. I think this is the second wine all time for Thirsty Thursdays on the Gregor Show. So
Gregor's not a big wine guy. Everybody knows that. So I'm just not classy enough. Now, some of my buddies, Horbs is a big wine guy, so we've had it.
We'll do like a full wine.
Oh, we probably should
wine show at one point, but this one, so it's Woody's Sparkling Rosé is what the product is. So it's out of California. It's a Californian wine. They use Californian grapes.
It's a bear with a rose.
Yeah, it's kind of like this is perfect for date night or going on a picnic or something. You want to bring a little bottle of bubbly along with you.
No.
So he's grimacing.
No, it's not one for Gregor's passing on that one. I mean, like, hey, Woody, like anybody most people like a Woody, but not for me.
You know what's interesting, or what I find interesting about this whole non-alcohol thing too, is that there's different categories. There's the beer, there's cocktails, spirits, there's wine, of course. But I found I don't want this to come across the wrong way, but it's with the wine people, it seems to be a much harder sort of segment to break into. Dude. Like the people who are wine fans and wine experts,
I can see it.
They are very, very critical of the non-alcohol wine. So we still sell a ton of it, but what I found personally, and I get to sample a lot of wine just working in the industry, is it seems like the sparkling wine in the non-alc category translates a lot better than the still wine. So that's why I picked this one.
Like a deep red, I'd be like, why would I drink a deep red wine that's non-alcoholic?
Yeah, it's got like no body to it. No. And so that's one area of the non-alcohol industry that's still like growing and getting better and better, but it's still got a ways to go.
Yeah, like no offense, but it's it's out of the three, it's trailing pretty far.
Okay.
It'd be like me racing McDavid right now. I'm the wine. So that's
perfect. Fair enough.
Way far back.
Fair enough.
Way far back.
Buddy. Well, we're going For
now
the
we
next
got a
one,
rum.
now we got a rum. This is
I
brand
didn't even
new.
know. So this is a brand new rum.
Yeah, brand new to the Alberta market. So it's from Giffard, which is they're like the iconic French liqueur house. They established in
Okay.
1885. You go into our store you go into any quality liquor store or
Yep.
cocktail bar, you're going to see the Giffard brand just plastered.
Giffard.
Giffard.
Okay. It's not
or
Gifford.
Gifford. People say
Giffard.
Gifford.
Okay,
Yeah,
but we should say it correctly.
we should say
Giffard.
Giffard. Yeah.
Giffard.
So this is brand new to. We just got it in the store
The smell of that
today.
one gets you.
Yeah, so I served it straight up. It is meant to mix in mocktails or cocktails too, if you want. But this is their take on a sort of an amber rum style. So on the nose, I feel like it hits like it smells like real rum to me.
No, the smell is definitely very rummy.
Yeah, on the palate, it definitely it's definitely very sweet. So
Yep.
you want to, if you're just sipping on it, maybe
Yeah,
serve
you'd
it on
want
the
some
rocks.
ice for sure.
Yeah, or just include it in your favorite cocktail or mocktail during sober October. But Giffard, just the fact that it's such a big brand and they're diving head on into the non-alcohol game too, just shows how far it's come and how popular it is.
I would be curious to see the difference if it had a little ice to take a little of the sweetness off.
Yeah, that would dilute it a little bit. It'd be really nice. And there's about 4 different rums that we have in the non-alc category. Some of them are a little less sweet, like a little more bitter and herbal, but this one, I just thought it was really nice and a good sort of example of what a non-alc rum could be.
So now it looks like I'm drinking like a stout.
Yeah, so this is just a classic whiskey cola. So this, when I first,
so this is like one of those ready-made.
Yeah, an RTD, exactly. They're ready to drink. So it's from HP Juniper, which is a company out of Quebec. And they use their non-alc single malt whiskey in this one, and they import smoked peated barley right from Scotland. And
that tastes really good.
It does. Like this
was surprisingly good. It kind of tastes like you're drinking a rye and Coke.
Mm-hmm. When I was 18 to 25, that's sort of my go-to drink was
looks like it.
A nice rye and Coke, and I feel like it hits it because you just think of whiskey and cola non-alc, it would just be like drinking a Coke or cola.
I'll give a tip to everybody out there. Usually probably has one friend, at least in my experiences growing up, you had one friend who just, you know what, if they have beers, if they have drinks, it's great. If they have rye, it doesn't work for them. Right. You're the rye, because we had a few guys in our circle where like they're not drinking rye because then they're just all of a sudden they're not as smart. So if you have that guy in your group, buy one of these, serve it to him on ice. I don't think you know the difference, but hey, buddy, we'll give you, you know what, we're gonna let you have a rye tonight. He would probably go away happy knowing, but he doesn't even know it's non-alcoholic.
I wish I had these when I was younger, for sure.
Oh yeah. So you're the bad rye guy.
Eh? I do not handle rye well. No.
It is so funny. Like I know guys like in our group, it was Jeffy and Hutch. Both of them were like, you guys are cut off.
Yeah.
Like they just can't do it.
Yeah, totally. Did you see it's transform?
Weird...
Yeah, you turn into a different person. It's
Totally.
It's
like
wild.
just way more
That's why
aggressive, way more
it's
like
good to do things in moderation.
What's your problem here? So we I remember we all kind of figured out. We're like, peace. Okay, what happened? Oh, so when you drank rye. Then Tui, what happened? Oh, what was he drinking? Rye. So then we're like, we literally like, you're done.
Yeah, I can absolutely relate.
For sure. So there you go. So anybody who's the rye guy, but you like the taste of it, get this one.
HP Juniper. Yeah,
HP
whiskey
Juniper.
Cola.
All right.
Okay, so the
Now let's finish off
one.
with the beer.
Yeah, we started with
Now,
the beer.
is this
Let's
a stout?
finish. This is a stout. So
Okay,
this is from Mash Gang. Mash Gang, they're a company out of the UK. And what they do all non-alc beers. And they basically travel around the world and collaborate with different breweries and make their, craft their non-alc beer recipes.
Mhm.
So this one's a big stout. It's brewed with
Yes.
chocolate and cherries.
I was just gonna say, like it tastes very. I find the non-alcoholic beers. Like I had a Guinness, and I could not. I had a real Guinness, and I had a non-alcoholic Guinness, and the taste. If like I tasted one, taste the other, and I was like, yeah, what's the problem? They're both Guinness. He's like, yeah, one has alcohol. I'm like, what? One doesn't. It's crazy. Like this tastes like a real genuine stout.
It is, yeah, it's remarkable. And the techniques that they use to make these non-alc beers have just progressed so far the past few years.
Smoky too.
Yeah, smoky. That's from the roasted malts that they use. And it tastes like a Black Forest cake in a glass almost. Like it's not too sweet.
No,
but
it's
you,
not too sweet
but
at
you
all.
do get like
I didn't
like
find
they do have some additions of chocolate and sort of cherry extract to it. But it's, man, like it's hard to tell that this is a non-alc beer in my opinion. And with the Mash Gang, they do really cool branding. They do, like I mentioned earlier, trying different styles of beer rather than just a lager or even IPA. Like they go out there, they do sours, they do these big flavored stouts. They do like creamsicle IPAs, a whole range of different stuff. So definitely if you're browsing our non-alc beer cooler, you'll see a lot of Mash Gang and a lot of really interesting stuff there. So if you're a craft beer nerd, definitely hit us up.
Yes. Well, check it out. You got a wider variety. So if you're trying to do Sober October, stop in at Sherbrooke. From wines to ready-made to beers, aperitifs, they got it all. And even rums.
Even rums.
Even
yeah.
rums.
Even
I like
rums,
it.
buddy.
Wow. I'm still going with the
BB's your favorite.
Oh,
eh?
BB was my favorite, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna finish it.
Man, it's been a staple at our store for a couple of years now for a reason.
It is very, very good. I love it. Awesome stuff, Steve, man. We will we'll touch base with you next Thursday.
Yeah, sounds good. I will see you then.
Hopefully Dave's feeling better.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll be back next week. We'll see.
All right. Coming up, TR will join us. We got McCarthy, Livingston, Struds. Huge, busy Thursday edition of the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Let's get to Conman Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home loan payments. No interest for 1 year on your furnace or your AC. LegacyHeating.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
The Edmonton Oilers are making some moves, sending Demon, Campanine, and O'Reilly Stillman on waivers for the purpose of assignment, while Blue Liners, Leppinen, forwards Hudson, Szymanski, Hamblin, Marjala, and Plattenberg have all been loaned at the Bakersfield Condors. Some other news and notes from around the NHL. Defenseman Jackson LaCombe signing an 8-year, $72 million contract extension with the Ducks today. The 24-year-old had 16 goals and 44 assists in his first 148 career games. Panthers keeping Nico Mikkola in South Florida. 8-year deal worth $40 million. Meanwhile, Calgary Flames keeping head coach Ryan Huska in town on a 2-year contract extension. In the majors, right now, Tigers up on the Guardians 2-1 in the top of the 7th. Runner on second, no outs. The series tied at a game apiece. Later on today, you got the Cubbies and the Padres at 3. Then at 6, the Yankees once again taking on the Red Sox. Week 5 in the NFL kicks off tonight with the Rams hosting the San Francisco 49ers. Kickoff for that one set at 6:15. And we had some NBA preseason earlier today. Knicks knocked off the Sixers 99-84 in Abu Dhabi. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by former NHLer Terry Ryan, also Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM NHL, and we'll hear Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show. The biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience, but it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-471-7380 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired. Yeah, waking up tired. Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey, Culligan. I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
How are you? And welcome.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Jason Gregor.
H2O.
You said it,
Connor
Tracy,
Halley,
and we're
Sports.
already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
Looking for an all-season vehicle with
247. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports.
rugged capability for your weekend adventures. That's the all-new 2025 Jeep Compass, and you'll find it during the biggest sale of the year this month at St. Albert Dodge. Now, what can I say? It's a Jeep. It's a 4x4. and it's loaded with standard features like an 8.4-inch touchscreen, keyless entry, and heated front seats. All starting from just $34,900. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Mr. Rooter meets a ghost. One plunge, 2, and 3. A toilet clogged with a ghost? Man, I love plumbing. You're free now.
I will never find peace. The clog is fixed, yes, but I have never trusted the sump pump.
No problemo. I can fix that. Now go to the light, you little scamp.
Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
To resolve your unfinished plumbing business, trust one plumber, Mr. Rooter.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in the technology, techniques, skills, and people that know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on Thursday afternoon. How are you? The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website, where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the lovely province of Alberta. So even if you lose, you win at PlayAlberta.ca. Be sure to stay within your limits. Use your game sense. Go to GameSense AB.ca. As we are joined now, we're going to go out east as our regular Thursday contributor. I was actually in Edmonton. Unfortunately, the timing did not jive for me and TR to meet up, although Sandman and I did have a lot of laughs without you there. So you're there in spirit when we met TR. Terry Ryan, how you doing, my man?
I'm all right. It was a quick trip. It was an awesome time to go out to Edmonton. I hooked up with a lot of my ex-Tri-City American buddies. I always see Sam Man anyway. I'll see him in Toronto next week. But wish I could have joined you guys. But I will be back in January at least, probably before that. But in January, we're playing the Oilers alumni, the Shoresy group. We just got added a few games, so I'm looking forward to that. We're playing Edmonton, Calgary, and Vancouver in January 26th, 28th, around there.
Oh, are you gonna stick Struts or Sean Brown maybe?
Oh, it's all on the table. Hey, we're Shoresy. We're the Bulldogs. We set the tone. So whatever it takes, whatever it takes, even in these alumni games.
Oh, God. We'll have to Strutty's on later. We'll have to ask him if he's actually going to try. If he gets, well, does he even get, I got to know, is Strutty even going to make the team? That's going to be the challenge. I'm not sure about
pretty
that.
Deep. Oilers alumni are pretty deep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good one. I know Brownie's in really good shape, so there's a chance he could make it, but
I'm sure he will.
He's back after a really busy off summer, so he'll be back with us on Monday. I see you're wearing your vintage Blue Jays. You got the hat, you got everything. I'm surprised your face isn't painted yet. Do you care? Would you rather see the Yankees or the Red Sox?
Oh, I would way rather see the Red Sox. Yeah, way rather. Why, I guess you ask? Well, Crochet scares me, but he's one guy. I think, you look at, you got Rodon and what is it, Freed, and then, you got you just got, to me, Judge and Stanton, who often goes for periods in the regular season just doing nothing. He seems to step it up in the playoffs, and they're just dangerous. I know people say, well, Judge hasn't done great. Yeah, well, he did good last guy. I think he's had some bad luck in the playoffs. Yeah, he could have done better. He's still Aaron Judge. He's in his prime. He's the best player in baseball this year. Could argue that, but I think he's going to get the MVP. And And, I just, he scares me. The Yankees are the Yankees. They have a history of, not going to say getting lucky, but tapping into the moment maybe. And I think they're deeper. I think like I said, the Red Sox can turn it on, and they have. Tonight will be interesting. I just don't think they're deep. They're both right there, 1A and 1B to me, but I'd rather see the Red Sox if I'm the Jays.
I would agree with you. Now I know the Jays have handled the Yankees this year very well, but the one thing the Yankees do, they can hit home runs. And the one thing the Jays pitchers gave up a lot of were home runs. So I'm just looking at it. It seems so far in the playoffs outside of that Dodgers series that it's been pretty low scoring. And one swing of the bat can change it. And that to me is now, do I think the Jays could beat them? Sure, they could still beat them, but it is it's a challenge for sure. TR, the Edmonton orders, we're getting down to it. They released a lot more guys today, sent them down to the minor. No real surprises. I think we get down to camp here now. We're kind of where they're at. Okay, what are they going to do up front? I think Jones seems like the obvious one forward who's going to go. There is a defenseman, and they got Stetcher, they got Emberson, they got Big Regula, who they picked up on waivers last year from Boston. He's young, similar age as Emberson, but he's a big body. And he's a right shot. And would you know what you have in Troy Stetcher, right? You know it. He's a gamer. The guy shows up all the time. You think the organization goes for the sure thing in Stetcher, or do you think they might be like, oh, geez, we don't want to risk losing Regula, even though no one knows if a team would claim him? I have no idea if they claim him. He hasn't played in 18 months, right? And it's not like Boston can reclaim him. For anybody wondering, because we've had a few texts, can't Boston just take him and put him in the minors? No. If that happened during the season, yes, but not now. It's a new year. And so anybody who claims him has to put him on their roster. I'd have to go through every team and see, but I could see some team thinking, hey man, I'll make a 24-year-old 6'4" right shot defenseman who can move the puck. They would have space for him. So what do you think they're going to do on their defense core?
Oh yeah. I love Regula. I would think high priority for me. First of all, in 4 or 5 months from now, there's going to be a bunch of teams. We're going to have the conversation. Who's out there that's a right defenseman that's younger? It happens every single year because they're just rarer than left. He's big. And to me, that's almost, I know he's been out for 18 months. He's in his mid-20s, man. Come on.
Yeah.
I know he has been, but you can come back. To me, that's a good thing. Not a good thing, but you can take a lot of positives from it in that he's kind of being hidden. He was coming. And look at it in the minors and in junior especially. He can score, man. A big right-handed. I think he's a huge prospect is the wrong word, but I think there's huge upside to this. And I love Stetcher that he goes out and he works so hard. And you know what you're getting. You certainly do. It's because of that, I guess the decision, if it had to come down to either one, it'd be a rather hard, difficult one to make, but my heart would say Stetcher, but my logic, just seeing that we've seen and everything that he's done and given, and there's something to be said about loyalty, but I don't know, man. Regula, really, regardless if we were the Oilers talking, I would say he could be one of the sleepers going into the season just because he missed so much time. He's so young, and that potential was on its way somewhere. It just got halted a little bit. But you're getting a guy that could come in and really make a difference, whereas you know exactly what you're getting with Stetcher, which is really good. But you're just asking me about a logical decision that I'm trying to look at it. If it was business-like, for example, just to me, the math says Regula is going to really have a chance to make a huge impact.
Yeah, it's not just about, October 8th. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're looking at, okay, where do we think this is going to be? Is Troy Stetcher more proven today? Without question. I don't think anybody debates that. I think we would all agree. Yes, he is for sure. So, it's about a little bit long-term, I think, with him and what it would mean. But that to me is the interesting one. What about Noah Philp? Philp's in. He's got 4 points in 4 games, skates really well. He can shoot. In the minors, he's showing a physical side. I'd probably personally like to see him show that a little bit more in the NHL. But what do you make about Philp? And do you think between him and Curtis Lazar, would they just move Lazar to the right wing? Does Philp go in there? Where do you see Philp? Do you see him having a spot, or is he potential to go down?
Yeah, I know it's tough, right? And you look at a guy like that, and They're the guys that are hard for me because you don't really know what his NHL potential is. I mean, Regula's an obvious prospect that just had some time off that, you might, I don't want to use lightning in a bottle because it might be he's a little bit more proven than that. But when it comes to a guy like Philp, with certain organizations, he'd already be going into his third year in the NHL, right? It's just like, it's tough. And we used to have them. I remember sometimes it's just a numbers game, and you look at the contracts and you look at people where they are, and they just become maybe someone that you could have confidence in calling up. And again, I'm in Montreal and there was no room. We had this conversation, I remember, about Craig Conroy. It was guys in the minors like that, like Craig Rivet. And what do you do? And when Rivet coming in, it was all kinds of, what about Brisebois, and Malakoff and Brett Clark. And there was all guys around him, but we were like, but Rivey's, there's a lot there. We know if he gets there that he's not going to disappoint. He's going to be an NHLer. And that's what I think about Philp. I think he's an NHLer. I think somewhere there he has a job. It's tough when you're in the situation you are and the depth that the Oilers have, but one injury away from being a regular, and I think he could possibly, there's a lot I like about his game, put it that way. I have confidence when he goes out onto the ice, no matter what league it is.
You look at the young guys, TR. You got Savoy, you got Howard, and Ike Howard. To me, I've been impressed. I've liked that he's looked more comfortable the longer preseason's gone. Lots of times you see a young guy come in those first few games, and especially now that there's 8 games, it'll probably be different in the future. But when there was 8 games, those first few preseason games, I can see a young skilled guy, he gets a little juice, feeling really good. And then later in preseason, when it's mainly NHL players, you don't notice them as much. It's kind of the opposite. I thought Howard had a rather uneventful first game, but he's just gotten better every time, which to me is a real positive. And I think he's probably earned himself a look early on. And I think somebody in the top 6 is going to get an extended look simply because of the absence of Zach Hyman. And we'll see who takes advantage of that, because that's going to be the difference when they have to send somebody down when Hyman comes back to see who it's going to be.
100%. In my experience playing, scouting, and just watching, all of the above, the prospects come in and the first couple, because they're full of piss and vinegar. So if anything else, they're going to go out and they're going to make a little bit of an impact because you're going to see how hard they work. But if a prospect gets better over that short little sample size, it means they're good at adjusting. And what do I love if I'm a coach? I love players that are talented, that can adjust. And I know I haven't seen all. I've seen some highlights, and I've heard. Obviously, I was just in Edmonton. I watched the game the other night. And I can say that about a few prospects over the years. I don't really know where it's going to go, but Ike, I think, to have the wherewithal, to have any patience whatsoever. And that's what I find. I find as it's gone on, more and more patience. And that shows another, adjusting is one thing and adapting is another. And if you can adapt well and then adjust your game that quick, does a lot to me, man. It says a lot to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It to me is an interesting dynamic. The Oilers, they've got some young players here. Szymanski, I don't know, if he'll help down the road or not, but he's a younger guy, 24, didn't embarrass himself. I think Margella shows me he's got some skill. Now, they're not all going to make it to the NHL. But while they don't have necessarily the high picks, they've got some guys here that look and say, hey, you know what? These guys could fill in if you get into some injury trouble down the way. Like Edmonton's got a boatload of forwards. They're going to have to go get a shooter, though. Fair to say, TR?
Yeah.
They need a legit top 6 shooter.
I think so, because I think having a pure scorer there would really, for example, if I'm Draisaitl or McDavid, which there's a spotlight on, and they're great players and they just see the ice well, but if you had like a real sniper, like a hired gun to come in, I think it would maybe make a lot of their decisions on the ice easier. I know Connor had over 60 goals a couple of years ago, so it's not like he can't keep and shoot, but if he's feeding it to someone who's, there's one thing to just play and be a decent scorer and accept the puck, and a lot of them are going to be tap-ins. But if you give it to a guy that can kick the corner and you're giving it to him that much and you start to have confidence and you're one of the most creative players in the league, that can be dangerous. Like, I don't need to name all the examples throughout history, but yeah, it's one thing. It's one thing to be, to have smart IQ players with high IQ playing with other players with high IQ. But it's another thing to just have a pure scorer that I'm going to score and you give it to me 90% of the time I'm shooting it, but I got a high scoring percentage and you're going to get more assists because of it. You're going to get more room. They're going to have to think twice. They're going to have to cover me. You get more space, right? That's a lot of it, right? Just give me more space. I know McDavid and Draisaitl, they get all kinds of space. But when you got someone, and you know, these guys can dish it. They could be on the other side of you're going to have someone you always do. That's the way defense goes, but you're just going to have you're going to have to like overplay one of them, and it's going to be tough. It gives those guys more options.
Terry Ryan joins us. TR, one last one and it looks like barring a miraculous comeback here, as Detroit has scored 4 runs in the top of the 7th. They lead 6-1. So the Guardians they got to score 5 runs before getting 9 outs, or else their season is over. They've been the comeback kids here for 2 months. We'll see if they've got one miraculous comeback left in them. Otherwise, Detroit will be heading out to Seattle to take on the Mariners. I want to ask you, just when you look around the league, Luke Hughes yesterday, $9 million AAV. Today it's Jackson Lacombe. Young guys who don't have a ton of playoff or NHL experience, but they're getting paid a lot, thinking that they're going to move into this. What do you make of these 2 deals? Do you like Lacombe or Hughes, one better than the other?
What did Lacombe sign for?
Same, $9 million, 8 years.
Oh, really? Well, first of all, I know with the cap there in the first place, that changes things from the 80s and 90s. And then with the cap going up in the future, as we know, I think people there's more of a tendency to bet on your younger players because these deals, like look at Kaprizov now getting $17 million. These are obviously big time players, but Rantanen just signed for 12 just a few months ago, right? Like Draisaitl was that a year ago or 2 years ago? 14.
Well, no, Draisaitl. This is his first year of his $14 million, which he signed last year, right? But it doesn't.
Which he signed, yeah. So this is the first year of it. Now Kaprizov signs for 17, moving into the future. A guy like Rantanen's at 12. Now all of a sudden, like I don't know, what does Nick Suzuki's contract look like? And I know people even question that. Now, he was a little bit further ahead than those guys, but not much. And they bet on him. And, so at some point, even if the player doesn't reach his full potential, it's not as much of an egg as you would think with the salary cap going up so much. So for these 2 players, and there's a lot of upside, if I'm, at some point you pick these players or brought them in, whatever it would be, wherever you are, you got to show some level of confidence. And if they're young and I think it's just the way the league's going. It doesn't surprise me at all. And at some point, if they do come into their own like you think, it's going to be a deal.
Yeah, well, they're both guys that are going to be like Jackson Lacombe. I really like. I think a lot of people maybe don't see him because they got a lot of late games. I watched the Ducks quite a bit, man, and he is a really
and the Ducks.
Good.
Sorry, and the Ducks are going to get a lot better. Sorry to cut you off. That's what I meant to go there. But the Ducks are getting. I don't think the Ducks are Chicago. Keep referring to them, but I think the Ducks are going to be a little bit better. Yeah, I think they're going to get a lot more wins this year. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no, the Ducks for sure. Like the Ducks were an 80-point team last year. I said I think the Ducks can push to be a 90-point team, which won't be good enough in the West to make the playoffs, at least unless there's a massive surprise here for me. But I think they will be in the mix a little bit longer. Like the last few years, they've been out of it by the end of November, right? Like they were like the Oilers circa decade of darkness when Oilers fans would turn to December 1st and be like, hey, what are we going to do now? Hey, who's the next top draft pick? They used to do it for years. They hated it. So, that's where the Ducks have been the last few years, but I think the Ducks will be a much more competitive team. Like the Oilers have beat them for fun, other than when Dostal stands on his head and makes 49 saves, but the Oilers have kind of dominated them for a year. I don't know if they'll be able to I still expect them to win. I don't think they'll dominate to the level that they have the last few years. The Ducks are getting better.
Yeah. And so if I'm managing a team in any capacity, if I'm part of the brass and I'm looking at these guys coming up, I'd want to invest into them, and any long-term contract is going to, if the player comes into his own at all, it's going to start favoring the team. And and you're in that room and you see how these guys click and you get someone with unreal potential. I think that's kind of what you're supposed to do, unless they give me a real reason not to, unless there's a huge red flag. I think that would happen more often than not. And I kind of agree with it, and I know a lot of people aren't used to seeing that, but just the way the contracts are structured in the CBA and the salary cap, I think for the most part, that's going to happen more often than it doesn't.
Yeah, no, that's totally valid. TR, great to catch up with you, buddy. We will chat with you on Tuesday as the NHL will drop the puck on another season next Tuesday. Should be a lot of fun.
Thank you, Connor. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Edmonton. See you guys soon.
You betcha. That's Terry Ryan. Very busy guy. His I don't know how many phones he's got going right now, 3 or 4, but they're all ringing. We'll take a quick break. Dave McCarthy joins us next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Ah, Hawaii. The warmth of a golden sunset as the waves roll in. The freshness of a waterfall. The lush scent of tropical flowers in the air.
You don't need to travel to enjoy all Hawaii has to offer. You just need to order pizza. Bring Hawaii home with the Aloha Trio, available for a limited time at Papa John's. Try our classic Hawaiian, Super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken for just $19.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
At Fountain Tire, we're fluent in saving you money.
Fluent?
Yes, we've mastered the language of deals. Like right now, you can save up to 25% off select tires and up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires. Plus, $50 off $150 service when you buy those tires. All until October 18th.
I'm sorry, I don't speak deals.
Spend less, save more when you buy Round Black things from us.
Oh, got it.
Restrictions apply. Book your appointment online today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, till the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a new from Legacy! Oh yeah, save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Looking for the perfect gift? Give the gift of great taste with a Loca Quality Market gift card. Redeemable at any Loca Quality Market or Loca operated restaurant. It's a treat for food lovers. Ready anytime. Grab yours today at loca.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at sherbrooke.liquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.30. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Man, you watch the devastation on the face of fans in Cleveland. That's where, you know what, it's in a must-win game. You're trailing 6-1 at the top of the 8th inning. Now, have teams come back before? Yes, but it's looking harder by the minute in Cleveland. So the Cinderella run potentially could be over, which is unfortunate for Cleveland fans. And hey, Zambrowski, of course, a friend of the show, hoping that maybe they got some miracle comeback in him. But right now, not looking great. Not looking great at all. Let's go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. And guess what? If you haven't tried it, what are you waiting for? The McVeggie Burger is here at McDonald's. And guess what? Next week, one of your favorite games, Monopoly, is back starting Monday, only at McDonald's. Also, speaking of the Jays, you can listen to them right here on Sports 1440 Saturday and Sunday. Fantastic. So if you're driving all around, you want to be tuned in, you can do it at Sports 1440. As we welcome to the show from SiriusXM, Dave McCarthy. Davey, how you doing, man? Are you back on the brunch this weekend?
This is the weekend, so I was about to actually text you to make sure you're good for noontime Eastern.
Buddy, I'm in.
Okay,
I'm in.
Done. Look at that. We got
there
it.
You go. Big.
Look at Terry books me on the air. We book you on the air.
Yeah,
like we just get business done here. We love it.
Yeah, exactly. Tough negotiation. Negotiation. Hey, give me your thoughts on the Stolars contract. And like, is that because of games played, or they could, because that has the potential to be an unreal deal for Toronto.
I know. I'm actually shocked that they got him in at that number. What is it, like 375 over 4 years? I'm actually staggered. I don't have words because, you know, I talked to Anthony back earlier in training camp and I said, are you aware of the goaltending market next offseason? He's like, yeah, it doesn't look that great. And I said, so does that give you any inclination to want to hold off, bet on yourself, have a great year, and then see where things are at next year? He's like, yeah, a little bit. But he said the fact of the matter, and this before he signed, he said the fact of the matter is I love being here. I love everything about being here. And he said when Brad Treliving gave him a 2-year deal a year and a bit ago to come to Toronto in the first place, he said that's really the first time anyone had shown any belief in me of any amount of term. 2 years, right? That I could be a goalie that could be good at the NHL level. And he said that meant a lot to me. And he said, so my loyalty is to this team. And he said, if we can get something done prior to the season, I'd like to get that done. And so obviously the Leafs wanted to get him in at a very reasonable number. And I thought it was going to be over 4 for fun. Now they gave him probably an extra year than they really would have wanted, but whatever. It's not 8, it's 4. Like it's going to be fine. He's going to be fine throughout the duration of that contract, especially at the number that they signed him at. So now you've got Joe Woll and Anthony Stolars locked in for, I believe, the next 3 years, because Stolar's deal doesn't kick in until next year, and Wall has got a couple years left after this. So when those 2 deals are running, 2 years, 3 including this one, at less than $8 million for 2 guys who are really, really good. Now, the only thing is that neither of them have shown an ability to play 50-plus games. But they've both shown the ability to be really good goalies in shorter sample sizes. So I like their goaltending. Marty Biron on TSN announced his goaltending rankings by team, where he considered both goalies that a team has, not just your starter. And he put the Leafs in the top 3. I believe they were second. So, that's not me. That's this guy who understands goaltending a lot better than I do. I think that's a fantastic deal. I'm really surprised that he did not hold off. But it goes to show how much he likes being here, which is something in and of itself to be said in this market these days. I can tell you that goes a long way. That's a brilliant piece of business by Brad Treliving to get that done.
Yeah, looking at the Leafs, obviously, that they've done, I guess, quantity over quality with Mitch Marner going out, and they've replaced a lot of different guys. What is the top 6, do you think, going to look like on opening night for Toronto?
Well, I don't have to think. I can tell you, unless there's an injury that happens between now and then. Domi is going to be the guy that gets the chance to be the new Mitch Marner on a line with Austin Matthews and Matthew Nyes. And it looks, through all indications, that it's going to be Bobby McMahon on the second line with John Tavares and William Nylander. Craig Berube spoke about liking a bigger guy on that second line, somebody who can bang and crash and retrieve pucks, but also he has a skill set. Now, what was disappointing for Bobby McMahon is, during the Four Nations break last year, he had just come off a run where he was really hot. I think he had scored 5 games in a row. He had rolled through his hometown. He had family, friends, the whole 9 yards. Like he was the king of the hill. I dug in for 2 weeks. I put out a great feature. And then I don't think he scored again the rest of the year. And so that was a little bit disappointing. But that was really his first time playing meaningful games down the stretch. He had been in and out of the lineup in past years, playing in the playoffs. He's 28 years old. Now is the time where it's time to take all of that experience and put it to good use. He knows what he needs to do now to be a good player. And we'll see if he can do it. I'm going to bet on him. I really like this player. So that looks like what the top 6 is going to be. And then they've got a third line with a couple of big dudes, Nick Wan and Dakota Joshua, like really, really big dudes. Looks like it's going to be Matthias Michelli on that third line. And it's also looking like Easton Cowan is going to break camp with the Leafs because he's been getting a pretty good run on that fourth line with Scotty Lawton and Steven Lorentz. So that kind of looks like the 12 the Leafs are going to go with on opening night.
Now let's move around. We know Florida's got some obvious injury issues to start the season. No Barkov, no Kachuk, no Nosek. That's 3 of your top 12 forwards that are out. Right now, they obviously have a lot of depth. Don't get me wrong. Samaskowicz didn't even play in the playoffs for them after scoring 15 goals because they required Brad Marchand, right? So, and they went out and they signed Luke Cunningham. So they've got enough depth, I think. Although, none of those guys are replacing Barkov or Kachuk. So let's make that abundantly clear. You're going to move some guys up and give them opportunity. But
put it this way, it's a sure damn good thing that Sam Bennett returned, eh?
Wow, yeah.
Oh, then they'd be in big trouble.
Oh, yeah. Could you imagine? But
big trouble.
And then they signed Nico for an 8-year deal today, at $5 million. Oof, a guy who's going to 29 already. I know. That's a little surprising to me, but he doesn't have a lot of miles on a 29-year-old. He's a really good skater, so maybe it could be fine. But what do you make of the Panthers? And are they going to be are they going to be in a wild card battle, or do you think they'll be comfortably in a wild card spot, or maybe even in the top 3 in their division?
I think they're going to be okay, simply because they were, in my mind, so far ahead of everybody else. Taking Barkov out of the mix, I think brings them back to the pack. It doesn't take them from the pack into a bottom feeder. I do not think they're going to crater. Matthew Tkachuk will be back. All they got to do is tread water for the first 2.5, 3 months of the year. Get to January, and I think they'll be fine, because I do think they're a really good team still, but they're not as far and away better than anybody else than I thought they were kind of in mid-July. I think you and I talked at that point in time to say, who the heck got better to really challenge Florida? I didn't think there really was anybody. So I think through attrition, they've gotten a little worse, but I still think they're a good team. Look, in the Atlantic Division, I could still see 5 teams coming out of that division because I don't think the Metro is all that great. Like, I think Carolina, New Jersey are in. Washington, I've talked to a lot of people in management who have told me that they're not convinced that Washington is going to be as good as they were last year, that there was maybe a little bit of overperformance and everything kind of fell their way, and they had the Ovechkin chase, and that kind of fueled them. I'm not sure they're going to be quite as good as they were. The Rangers should be better, but, who knows? The Islanders, you got to show me. Columbus, you got to show me. I could see 5 teams coming out of the Atlantic. So those 5 teams would be Toronto, Tampa Bay, Florida, Ottawa, and Montreal. I don't think Detroit's going to be any good. I don't think Boston's going to be any good. I don't think Buffalo is going to be good enough to get into the playoffs. So in saying all that, you're asking, can Florida be better than teams like the Islanders, teams like the Capitals, teams like Columbus, teams like Buffalo, Detroit, Boston? I think they will be and they can be. And so I think they'll be okay. But I don't think they will be a team that runs away with the division the way I thought they probably would in mid-July.
Davey, always good to have you on, buddy. We appreciate you switching it up this week, and we will chat with you on the brunch on Sunday.
Right on. See you, buddy.
There you go. That's Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM. Usually joins us Tuesday, but obviously we had the day off this week, so we rescheduled, and he was on today. Now, hey, give the Guardians credit, buddy. They got runners on second and third, so you're telling me there's a chance here in the bottom of the 8th. It's still a slim chance, but you never know. They don't give up. That's what makes the playoffs great. When we come back, it's not the playoffs, but we're getting into the stretch run, shall we say. We'll discuss that next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts, and play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocksyeg.com.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience, but it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-471-7380 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
From the locker room to your radio, Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader. Real talk, big personalities, and your texts. It's interactive. It's fun. It's where Edmonton talks sports. Sports 1440.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. It's not lost on me that this radio ad competes with a lot of other dealerships on the air. So what sets us apart? Honesty. At Northgate, we believe in giving you the very best price we can with the most value possible. We aren't giving away free trips or paying off your credit cards, but it is my promise you will get exactly what you paid for every time. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
As members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel your life affordably, reliably, and safely. Across the province, natural gas keeps Albertans warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. For more information on the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and its members, or to learn more about how natural gas fuels your community, please visit us at fedgas.com. That's fedgas.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles, Culligan.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.348. Oh my goodness. You get thrown out at second base to end the inning. Oh, that one. Now, I'm not saying they would have come back or not, but that was close. But guess what? Called them safe. They review it. Ramirez is out. And that ends the inning for Cleveland. They get 2 runs, but that might be the biggest what if going. That's what makes the playoffs great, man. Every play matters. A little wild throw to first, and then tries to outrun it, and didn't work. Oof, that one will sting, I would think, for a while. Playoff baseball, man. It's great. Welcome back to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. It's Thursday, the Daily Grand. It's our favorite game. I've yet to win, but I'd still try. You can get $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. It's a total of $7.3 million. Now you could do the one-time lump sum payment. And I get that in theory it makes more sense, but there's just something about getting $1,000 a day every day. Just wake up in a good mood. G-Note, here we go. Love it. PlayAlberta.ca. Good luck. As it's time to go racing, and the Racing Report brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Well, it's easy. Buy Canadian. Cantork's products not only made in Canada, but right here in the city of Champions. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com. It's Colin Livingston. Joins us once again, talking some racing. C-Man, how you doing?
Too bad. I think honor of our friend Tater, we might have to temporarily rename to Camtork.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know he asked you if you could drive one of your carts, so good see.
Yeah, I like the enthusiasm.
Yeah, well, it's true. We'll see. Could he crash in a fence as good as you? That'll be the challenge.
You got that one. Takes some commitment.
Yeah, that is definitely commitment. We'll get to F1 and Indy in a second, but I just got to talk about motorsport. Like we talked about it last week, but there's like 43 cars have had like issues testing on the dyno right now. Like, what's going on?
Okay, so not 43. Our car is number 43.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So yeah, this is the follow up to last week when we were on our way up to the circuit at Mount Tremblant. We didn't know if we were going to race, then we're going to race, then we're not going to race, then we're going to race. And first and foremost, have to tip my non-existent hat to our partner Jacques Ravel. The guy puts everything he's got into this race team, and we have had such terrible luck that I can't do it proper justice with the limited vocabulary that I have. but we actually got the car running fairly well. The engine was great for the first time this year. For whatever reason, we couldn't get the turbo to feed the engine. We think we know where the issue is. It wasn't something that was fixable at the track, and we tried everything we had. We had experts from all over the paddock come take a look. Of course, experts are like backsides. Everyone's got one, or opinions, pardon me. But yeah, unfortunately, we never really got to run the races. We took some, we took the green flag a handful of times and then parked it after a handful of laps. But just great to be out there. We had such a good group. We had some success in the second car, the Radical, which, Albert has to get a pat on the back. He made like a 14-hour round trip to go pick it up for us on Friday, just so we could have it. Didn't do any setup. Alex managed to win the first race. We had an overheating issue in the second race that kind of parked the car and then finished second. There was a Formula Renault that joined our group that was like a bat out of hell. We don't know where the guy came from, what he did. We didn't notice him in the first couple of races. And then we're racing a Radical. This car was just a monster. We think if we could have got ahead of him, the wake that our car would have thrown would have killed all of his grip and we would have driven away. But we got behind him and, settled for second.
Oh, okay. Now, still good comeback, gutting it out. Now we move to, quickly before we get to F1, just the IndyCar, the season's ended. Obviously it was a pretty dominant season by the champ, but looking to the off season, you got a few stories that kind of pique your interest.
Yeah, there's lots of drivers being tested. Most noted, for people who aren't paying attention, IndyCar's over, but they're really in big test mode right now where they're trying to size up drivers for next year. They're trying new components. They're working on other stuff. But the big one that crossed my desk the other day was Mick Schumacher is going to be testing with Rahal Letterman next week at Indianapolis. Now, in the world of motorsport, it doesn't get a lot bigger than the names Indianapolis, Rahal, or Schumacher. So that's going to be kind of cool. Both sides of that are saying that there's no commitment. They just want to run the test, but we know better than that. If the test goes well, Rahal will be interested.
You're not just running a test for fun.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, Schumacher's been running some sports car stuff over in Europe, but I think he really wants to get back to single seater open wheel. So could be interesting. There's a handful of other drivers that most people likely won't know that are testing with like Dale Coyne and Andretti, but will be interesting to see the comments that come out of the Schumacher test for sure.
Now you mentioned testing. You go to F1 and Roman Grosjean, of course, everybody remembers he had that fiery crash in Bahrain 5 years ago.
Yeah.
He tested in he drove in an F1 car for the first time since then.
Yeah. 5 years. Yeah. He got put back in the car with Haas. It was technically a tire test. And they ran in the rain, which there were a lot of jokes about. Well, that kind of suits him because if he catches on fire, then rain will put him out.
Not the best joke, but
no, but there's a reason why these people aren't headlining comedy tours either. But he got to make that his final memory in Formula One, which is still pretty cool. Very cool of Haas to call him up to run the test. Very cool. Like he was supposed to do a test with Mercedes, and I never found out what happened. That they had extended that to him after the crash, and for whatever reason, I think COVID probably played a big hand in that. But it was awesome. Like at the same time, Hinch was in the car.
Yeah.
But they're not releasing any of that because they're kind of packaging that for a feature during the Austin race in a couple of weeks. So we'll see more about that then. But now we're queuing up for Singapore.
And it's a night race.
Yep.
Do they like night races better? Do you think?
Who?
The race, like the drivers. Does it matter? Is it any different?
I think this one specifically is a little bit more appealing to the drivers because they're all based in Europe. Like they're all based in that UK time zone.
Yeah.
So running a night race in Asia is equivalent to kind of running daytime races where their body clock is moderately normal.
Sure.
In theory, it should be cooler, but it really isn't. Like the temperature gets to about 32, 33, 34, and it holds there with crazy humidity, which has actually triggered the FIA's extreme heat protocol, where the teams are going to have to outfit their cars with all their driver cooling aids. The drivers don't have to run the cooling aids. Like they don't have to put the suit on, but if they don't wear their part of it,
then they got to add something.
they have
right?
to add weight.
Okay.
To compensate for
And
that.
so how they add how they add that? Because it's what, like 10 pounds, give or take 5K, 5 kilograms.
It would be at least that, because there's a fair bit of fluid. That's where the majority of the weight is.
Okay.
Tags actually started running this in our stock car, and when it works like crazy well. Like if you tried to run it at full cooling, you would freeze. Like it's unbelievable how well that system works. So yeah. I think the majority of them are going to run it. It makes sense. They would run it pretty much every week, but they don't want the added weight. Like 10 pounds is like 0.3 of a second per lap. So they would never run it unless they absolutely had to. But yeah, this Marina Bay circuit with the high temperature, high humidity, it is just a killer. And F1 is talking, or I think they've already announced next year they're going to run a sprint race there as well. So these guys are just going to get destroyed there next year.
Colin Livingston joins Cantor Racing Report. We're down to 7 races to go.
Yep.
And Piastri had a brutal weekend. Well, not last weekend, but the last time he raced, right? Crashed twice, wasn't good. Max Verstappen is now 69 points behind him, which is quite a bit when you think about it. You know, it's almost like you got to go 3 races, Max wins, and Piastri gets no points, right?
Yeah.
Which seems pretty hard to do. But you know what? If Piastri's finishing outside the top 5 every time, well, now you're talking a different story, and you can catch up over time. It seems very difficult to catch him. But what do you make of kind of Piastri as of late, and what do you watch for after such a brutal showing his last time out?
The first thing to watch for is how he recovers. He's been so consistent, so level-headed, you know, hasn't panicked, hasn't made a lot of aggressive overtakes. So obviously last weekend the last race at Azerbaijan was brutal with the wind. This is going to be a totally different deal. So just watching how he recovers is going to be, for me, is going to be interesting. In the championship, of course, everyone, you know, pumps the tires of the sport. Max winning 2 in a row. Does this mean they have the car figured out? Could he win the remaining 7 races, go 9 in a row? Of course, it's possible. You can't really bet against Verstappen, but it's pretty unlikely. Even if Max wins, let's just say he wins and Piastri manages to finish second, which is at some point McLaren's going to have to make the decision to favor one of the 2 drivers to make sure that one of their drivers actually takes the drivers' championship. The constructors is all but over. But if he finishes second the rest of the year, it's still Piastri's. So, you know, Norris does have a shot, but if they continue their infighting, which it seems like behind the scenes, there's a little bit of negotiating going on, they could make it way more difficult on themselves than what it needs to be.
Yeah. What do you make of kind of some of the other teams like Williams and the improvements that they've done this year? How can they, like, how far would Williams have to go to really compete with the top 3 teams?
They've got a long way to go. I mean, yes, Sainz made it onto the podium. But that was a really weird set of circumstances in Baku, that there was weather, there was wind, there were, you know, crashes. It was a very, very, it was an outlier as far as the races go. This weekend could prove to be a little bit strange. Street courses are always unpredictable. They're very tight. They're really, really hard to get around. You know, the drivers are good enough to know what they're doing. They're conditioned very, very highly to withstand the heat. But once we get through this, you know, start getting into, you know, Austin, Mexico, by the time we get to 4 or 5 races to go, I think the outcome of the year is going to be pretty set. You know, Could we see, Ferrari maybe put it together and actually get a podium or win? Sure. Mercedes looks like they're getting closer. Aston Martin, they've had small flashes of brilliance, but haven't been able to put it together on race day. But the momentum that Williams has, hopefully it's enough to keep them motivated, and maybe they can, find a little bit more here before the end of the year.
Colin, great stuff, buddy. Good luck training Tater on the car, and we'll chat with you next Thursday.
We might start with the simulator first.
Yeah, that would be smart. That'd be very smart. That's the Racing Report brought to you by Cantork. Let's get to Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Where? Guess what? Right now at Fountain Tire, they can help you. If you need new tires, but your wallet, you don't have the cash on you, don't worry. You can get no interest on 6 or 12 months options. Find out which works for you, fountaintire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Anaheim defenseman Jackson LaComa agreeing to a new contract with the team, 8 years, $72 million, keeping him with the club through the 2033-34 season. At 24 years old, he had 16 goals and 44 assists in 148 games over the last 2 seasons. Meanwhile, Florida Panthers keeping Nico Mikkola in South Florida, 8 years, $40 million. That's an AAV of $5 million for the 29-year-old, and becomes the 11th member of the Panthers signed through at least 2030. Calgary Flames keep it head coach Ryan Huska in the city, signing a 2-year extension earlier today. Major League Baseball playoffs. Tigers victorious over the Guardians, winning 6-3. With that, they'll advance to take on the Mariners. Right now, bottom of the third, Cubs lead the Padres 2-0. Later on tonight, you got the Yankees taking on the Red Sox. Winner of that game will take on the Toronto Blue Jays starting on Saturday. Games we'll have for you here on Sports 1440. In the NFL, you got Rams-Niners kicking off Week 5 of the NFL season. Now gets going down at SoFi Stadium at 6:15. And NBA preseason in Abu Dhabi. Knicks knocked off the 76ers 99-84. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll hear Cam Pate's 2-minute warning, be joined by former NHLer Jason Strudwick, and ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, the Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Whoa, who turned off all the lights?
Experience the new charcoal menu at Booster Juice.
Charcoal menu?
Introducing the Eclipse Smoothie, Blackout Booster Mixer, and Midnight Booster Ball.
Where's that voice coming from?
Dark and delicious, made with activated charcoal.
Can we please turn the lights back on?
Sorry, I'm just excited about the new charcoal menu.
Wow, that is good.
Right?
Available now, only at Booster Juice.
You'll see us digging holes. No, we're not looking for buried treasure. You'll see us digging trenches as well. And no, we're not building a fort. We're GS Construction, and you'll see us in neighborhoods throughout the Edmonton area. So what are we doing? GS Construction provides rehabilitation and upgrade services to Edmonton and surrounding communities. Some of our underground utilities have served us for years and are past their useful lives. We replace them, so they're around.
We continue on Thursday afternoon. How are you, The Gregor Show?
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick.
Deals is,
Today,
do you like
we're
they bet on them
GMC
and
Buick. We're still located on the corner
Trouble
of
down the way, like
184th Street and
a
Stony
real
Plain Road, with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business, and for that, we are thankful. If you're looking
Connor
for a truck or SUV, pop in, and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC.
My
Buick.
goodness.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're
Find
making
out what
it easy.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
At Fountain Tire, we're fluent in saving you money.
Fluent?
Yes, we've mastered the language of deals. Like right now, you can save up to 25% off select tires and up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires. Plus, $50 off $150 service when you buy those
smart.
tires.
That'd be very
all
smart.
Until October
That's
18th.
the Racing Report brought to you.
I don't speak deals.
Spend less, save more when you buy Round Black things from us.
Oh, got it.
Restrictions apply. Book your appointment online today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Groceries, mortgage payments, family holidays, a new car. That's what profit shares look like for Vision Credit Union. Each year, we return about 75% of our profits, $35 million last year, to the people who bank with us. Because at Vision Credit Union, when you're an owner, you get your share. Why not get yours? Learn how at whatsyourshare.ca. That's whatsyourshare.ca.
Backed by popular demand, Folsom Prison Revisited. The story of one of the greatest concerts in history returns to the Jubilee Auditorium. November 22nd. Step back in time before, during, and after this iconic Johnny Cash performance, featuring Devin Brain from $1 Million Quartet and an all-star band. You'll relive an event that changed the life of Johnny Cash and changed music forever. Tickets at Ticketmaster.ca and at the Jubilee box office. Brought to you by Stars and Stories Live.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane, available for all your lifting and equipment needs. Specializing in selling and servicing cranes, get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.408, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, as well as YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram for both Sports 1440 and Orders Nation, man. We continue to grow, give you as many options we can for you to listen and watch the show. So thank you very much. And hey, if you want to be part of the show, we've got an extra opening for an advertiser. So let us know. Send me a text. We'll get our ace sales guy, Steve, on it. So there you have. Got a new opening. I love it. 833-401-1440. Coming up this hour, we will have Jason Strudwick joining us momentarily. Also, later on, we got Spec. We're going to get to some NFL. We do have now 2 teams moving on to the second round. The Detroit Tigers, who, at the start of September, they looked like they were in cruise control to make the playoffs. And then they hit the skids. Cleveland ramped it up. Cleveland actually passed them, took home field advantage away, but Detroit manages to put up 4 runs in the 7th inning. And that was really the difference as they win 6-3. And now Detroit will head out to Seattle to take on the Mariners. So we know that matchup. We know the Phillies and the Dodgers are going to play. So now we're down to the 1 versus 4-5 matchups. Milwaukee is either going to face the winner of the Padres and Cubs, while the Jays will face the winner of the Red Sox and Yankees. Cubbies and San Diego going at it right now in the, top of the second, no score right there. So there you go. And of course, the later game tonight, but not that late, starts just after 6 o'clock our time, the Yankees and the Red Sox. It's a great rivalry. And should be good. I asked this question, because we've had a lot of people text in wondering where the order's at. So it's kind of straightforward here for the Edmonton Oilers. We know the 2 goalies are on the roster. Right now, it's Pickard and Skinner. The Oilers currently have 16 forwards and 8 defensemen. So that's 26 bodies. So you gotta get rid of 3, because Zach Hyman, while he's on LTR. They want him on the opening roster for a day, and then the next day they can recall someone, and potentially could, they could recall too if they really wanted to. But because so Hyman's got to go down. All right, so they got to send down probably one defenseman, 2 forwards, or no defenseman and 3 forwards. Now they have 3 guys who don't require waivers: Savoy, Howard, Tomasic. So you'd say, well, Gregor, we just send those 3 down. Well, wait a day, and then but I don't think they want all 3 of them down for sure. But here's the other part. And it's a weird little twist in the CBA. And I think it's done for this reason. So Matt Savoy and Howard have bonuses in their contract. Doesn't mean they will reach the bonus, but they have bonuses in their contract. Tomasic doesn't have a bonus, and that's important when I explain to you why. So Ike Howard has now his first year, his bonuses, they're not that much, $250K, which is a factor. And, so when you look at their AAV, the base salary plus the bonuses, so a guy like, you look at a guy like Ike Howard, and his AAV right now looks like $950K. But if he's not on the opening day roster and then he's recalled during the season, because he has $250K in bonuses, his actual cap hit, even though he doesn't reach a bonus, it's a weird thing, is 1.2. It's the 950 plus the 250. Right? You look at Matt Savoy, well, he's got, you look at his bonuses, well, they're much more, right? He's got $1 million potential. Now, that's the key word, potential performance bonuses. So that would take him from being an $8.86 thousand cap hit to a $1.886 million cap hit. So I don't see any way they're sending Savoy down. Now, I know it's weird. If you have him on the roster for the opening day, then you send him down. Anytime you recall him, he only counts as that. It's just a weird part of the CBA. I can't really fully understand it, because the bonuses only matter if the player reaches them. And so a lot of times they'll count towards the next year's cap. If you're over the cap and stuff like that, it's called bonus overages. But in this case, if a guy's not on your opening day roster with potential bonuses, when you recall him, his bonuses do count. So just on the cap hit. So that makes it, I think, very challenging. Now, definitely not Savoy. Howard, he could be a 950 or a 1.2. It's not a massive difference, but when every dollar counts, it's still a difference, right? So that means he's a $1.2 million cap hit instead of 950. So I think both of those guys could be on the opening day roster. Tomasic, to me, is the one guy I think who's going to get sent down only for a day because he doesn't have bonuses. So his 1.2 is always just a 1.2. Max Jones hasn't played. I think he's the guy that's going to go down as long as he's cleared. But it sounds like at my conversations with someone in the organization earlier this week was they expect Max Jones to be cleared and able to go down. He hasn't played, so I think he'll go down. So then there's one other player that you would need to send down. Every other guy, I'm assuming it's not Howard or Savoy, will need to require waivers. So your options are a defenseman, Regula Stetcher Emerson, another forward, Philp, Curtis Lazar. Some people have said Matthias Janmark. I don't like Matthias Janmark. He didn't do much in the regular season, but he's a pretty solid performer. He's good on the penalty kill, strong in the puck. He rarely makes mistakes defensively. He's not going to produce a ton for you offensively. You know that. But you also know that he's one of your best, if not most reliable defensive players. So what will they do? I'm kind of fascinated to see what they do. Cons, just based on cap numbers, I'm going to say Tomasic's one of the 3. I think the next day when Hyman goes on LTIR, Tomasic will be recalled. So who do you think of the other 2 players? Is it a defenseman? Is it 2 forwards? What do you think they're going to do?
I'm going to lean towards defensemen. I kind of feel like there's more stability on the blue line. They kind of know what they have. Now, like you said, there are a few pieces, maybe the Regulas, the potentially Emberson, but that's probably the direction I would go. I just think there's more, you probably have 5 locks for the back end to start the season. It's really just kind of that one spot. So yeah, that's probably the moves I would be making.
Yeah. So, I think Jones is kind of the obvious one. I think Tomasic, just because of his no bonuses, will be a guy for a day, and he doesn't require waivers, so you don't have to risk losing him. So that one makes sense for sure for one day. And then I'm really curious about the defense and what potentially they're gonna look at and do. And I think they're quite high on Alex Regula and what he potentially could be. And you got a young defenseman. You don't just want to lose him for nothing. Not if you have the option not to. Right? That's what makes it rather interesting. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Gregor, what's with Wallman? Guy's fragile. He's only played 65 games once in his career. Well, I can't comment on if he's fragile per se. You're right. He's now the one time when he was in St. Louis and Detroit that year off and on, he was, he wasn't an established NHLer. He has battled some injuries. That's totally valid. And that's probably a fair question. But I don't know if I call a guy fragile. Like, if you play hard and you block tons of shots and you block one off the top of your foot and you have a broken bone, does that mean you're fragile, or is that a little bit lucky? Because we see lots of guys block a shot, and the difference, because think about how many bones you have in your feet. Sometimes you just get it in the right spot, and where your turn, boom, that one, it leads to a fracture. Other guy blocks a shot in the exact same spot, goes away, gets lucky, unscathed. So, yeah, it's probably a fair point to mention that, yes, he's missed games fairly regularly. And that's something, honestly, if I'm a GM, I look at those things, because you definitely, you have to be aware of it. There's no doubt in my mind. Hey, Gregor, what's that new rule about being sent down to the minors? You have to play one game before it can be recalled from Rob. Well, Rob, good question. We actually got that clarified. So here's how. Basically, the rule was put in place so you don't do what Carolina did last year. They were sending guys down on paper, but not sending them down. They didn't leave town. They didn't do anything. They were just losing pay for a day. And they did it repeatedly over and over again to save cap space. It's pretty cheap. Right? Instead of paying the guy, let's say you're on a minimum salary, like instead of making $4,000 a day, you make $400,000 a day. Right? But you gain the cap space, and so teams would do it. So basically, they've said, if you just send a guy down, and he said for a day, not going to happen anymore. But if you send a guy down on a Monday, you have some injuries because you played Monday or Tuesday, and then you recall the guy right away, he doesn't have to play a game in the American League. So there's some flexibility in the rule. It's basically preventing teams from just saying, okay, Connor Halley, you're going down today, because then we know tomorrow you'll sit in the hotel, you're still here, but you'll only get your AHL salary for that day rather than your NHL salary. Not happening. If they haven't played a game, they're like, no, you can't just wait another day to do it. You'd have to have suffered an injury in between time to show it that, okay, we have to recall this guy for that reason. Now, so if you send out a David Tomasic, there's no games being played in the American League. It's only there as like you put a guy on the LTIR roster, you wait a day, you come back. He's not, because keep in mind, the season hasn't begun yet, so he's not losing any money. Right? That's the other factor here, why you can do it starting on Sunday when that's when most of the final cuts will be made. And you will see some teams do this. Teams will send a guy down because you want it. And the other thing, the orders, you have to calculate all the scenarios. They want to try to be as high as they can get to the ceiling, then put Zach Hyman on LTIR, because then you maximize your LTIR space. You don't want to be at 93 million, put Hyman on LTIR, because then 2.5 million of his salary, it doesn't count on LTIR space. You only have what's left above it. So they'll calculate all the numbers. And if I'm looking at the Oilers roster right now, and let's just say, for argument's sake, that Jones goes down to the minors, and well, they have Philp. I don't know if it'd be Phil. I think it would be Tomasic instead of Philp, but Tomasic gets you closer to maximizing your LTIR because he makes more than Philp, right? So there is a little bit of number crunching that goes into this. Right. The way it's at they could do a 22-man roster with Hyman and be about $226K, just under. the cap. Now, if you switch Tomasic out and you kept Philp on for that day, now you would lose about $300K in LTIR space, but then you wouldn't put Philp on waiver. So they're going to have to weigh some things out in this case. So there's lots that go into that final day of looking at it. Hey guys, I appreciate what Stetcher does, but it's a nice choice if it's a choice between losing him and a younger player, I feel like Stetcher is more replaceable given his size. JR and Red Deer, I could see the reason there. These are, I'm sure, all the things that they're going to be looking at, all the different scenarios. So we'll talk about the defense and, has Regula done enough? Would you risk potentially losing Stetcher? Because if you send him down, he's going on waivers. Is that a better decision? We'll talk to our D-man Struddy next on the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. You can always text us 833-401-1440 here on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. It's not lost on me that this radio ad competes with a lot of other dealerships on the air. So what sets us apart? Honesty. At Northgate, we believe in giving you the very best price we can with the most value possible. We aren't giving away free trips or paying off your credit cards, but it is my promise you will get exactly what you paid for every time. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Did you know The Brick is proudly Canadian-owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality-made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. The Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a Brick store near you.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can noodle at noodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order noodle at noodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order noodle.ca. Noodle noodle.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Listen up, because we're about to tell you what nobody else will. There's a serious problem in auto service. The price you expect is almost never the price you pay. Big Toy Shop tells it like it is. No BS, no false inflated bill. It's just the honest service you need, done quickly and done well at a price that doesn't make you feel like a chump. Take your ride to Big Toy Shop, 8315 Argyle Road. Call 780-298-2797.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers are back in action, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings, and you can play, score, and win every game. See more at ontherocksyeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Rolling through Thursday afternoon. Man, this day is just flying by. It's almost 4:30. Holy cow, your work day is almost over. And for you younger groups, hey, weekend begins on Thursday night, does it not? Little salsa night at OTR. Woo! If you haven't been, what are you waiting for? Check it out tonight. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. I'll tell you that right now. A lot of people fall in love. Salsa night on Thursday. Or just in either way, it's not a bad place. Check it out. It is the Gregor Show, presented by playalberta.ca. God, I wish they would put up the odds. If we could go there and we should do a live show from there. You scan the room. Okay, who do we think? Am I putting the odds on couple A over here? What about these two, B or C? Who's exchanging numbers or saliva later on that night? It'd be a lot of fun. Playalberta.ca. We're gonna have to talk to Rick. Do that for fun one time. I think I'd be killer at that. I'm very good at predicting. Strutty would be terrible, right? He still thought that Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper were going to get together. I think I got sucked into that one. But anyway, speaking of Strutty, let's get two Struds on now. Brought to you by Action Electrical. They are hiring. If you want to work for a fantastic company, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th year electricians, they're hiring them right now. Great opportunity to just grow with a company that continues to grow. Send your resume, careers@actionelectrical.net.
The Jason Gregor Show presents Struds On.
I don't believe in tea bags. I use loose leaf tea. It is so much better than the tea bags. I'll eat tea bags. I'll
Struds On.
I'm not a huge DJ guy. I guess if you hand me a couple glow sticks and a tight white t-shirt that I can get wet, maybe I'd be into it.
Struds On.
There's a lone steakhouse I used to go to down in Kentucky, and they had bowls of peanuts. I wasn't sucking on those ones. You need to have clean nut. I'm talking about the kind you get in a bag at an Elks game. You know what I mean?
It's time for Struds On.
We roll through lovely Thursday afternoon. Strutty, how you doing?
Great, buddy. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm good. How was your chili? I heard you were a judge for chili at the CFR.
Yeah, they brought the big guns in, and I love chili. I love it. I couldn't believe how many different twists there were on the chili. We had Wagyu beef. We had a vegetable, a vegetarian one, spicy, non-spicy. It was unreal. I can't wait to go back again. I really enjoyed it.
And what was your winner?
I think it was from meat. They won it. It was good. Maybe it was the Wagyu beef. One of those two. They were both. It was hard. You get down the final three, your kind of choice. It's hard to pick it, but yeah, there was a lot of good submissions. So I suggest people go down if you like chili. Want to clean out the system. That's the way to go.
Oh yeah, well it depends how many beans you got in there, Strutty. That all depends.
Yeah.
It's definitely it's a fart producer. There's no doubt about that. The defense. I know you watch it closely, Struds. The Oilers currently have 8 D-men in camp. Bouchard, Ekholm, Nurse, Wallman, Kulak. We all know they're making it. So now they could, in theory, keep all 8 and then send 3 forwards down if they wanted to for a day, and then put Hyman on LTIR, and then you could recall a forward if you wanted to. What do you think the Oilers would do? What's your thoughts? I guess let's start with Regulin. What do you think of him?
Well, I think that's where the whole conversation does start. I think he's been improving every game. I really liked his game last night. He showed mobility. He was making plays with the puck. There's some physicality there. I think that's something he can keep kind of working on. But I want to see more of him. The challenge for him is that he hasn't played a lot. But, is there a risk of them losing on waivers? Maybe. So what he probably needs to go down and play, 20, 30 games. But if you're worried about him being lost on waivers, now he sits here and what is he rotating every 3 games, which what he doesn't need. So I've actually said maybe if there can be maybe you can have a voluntary trip down to minors, just like on loan for a little bit for 2 weeks. I think you can do it, and they can go down and get some more games in.
You're calling it a conditioning stint, but if you put him on a conditioning stint, he still counts on your roster. So just keep that in mind.
Right. And that's kind of what I think you'd have to do, because I do think he needs to play games, but you don't want to risk losing him. So I want to see Regula. I'd like to see more of him. Then that kind of squeezes either Emberson or Stetcher. And Emberson, I think they're investing in him, trying to get him up and running. And they brought him in, they signed him to an extension. Then there's Stetcher, who through no fault of his own might be the one that gets left out in the cold if they decide to go that way. And if that happens, would he get picked up? I'm not sure. So, but Regula has impressed me to the point where I don't want to risk losing him.
Okay. But and there's the challenge is how do you play him unless Jake Wallman isn't 100% and might miss a day or two to start the season. That obviously would help, but I don't think he's hurt enough that he's he would just be on IR. So that really doesn't help your situation any at all as far as getting guys down. It just means that you have some. Once you put Hyman on LTIR, you have some flexibility.
Yeah, and I get that, but I mean, I guess I'm looking at Regula. Could he be a solution for this team for the next number of years?
Yes, I agree.
Years. So it's not ideal. Like, I think he should go down and play, even though he's played well, because it's just because he hasn't played. So, you're kind of spinning in a wheel, or I'm spinning you in a wheel a bit here. I don't really have an answer, but I know that everything I do would be directed towards keeping Regula in the organization, and I'd work backwards from that.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. What about the forwards? Well, where have you your thoughts on Noah Philp at this point?
I think he had some really good games. I don't like the fact that he was sick. Him and Tomaszek both, I believe, for the last game. So that would have been another chance to have a showing. He showed me enough that I want to see him. I want to see him continue to play. He's caught my eye. Now where does that leave Lazard and Tomaszek? I mean, they're all in there. There's a numbers game. But just like Regula, I want to see more from Noah Philp. What have you seen from him?
Well, I've liked a lot of what I've seen from Philp, right? He moves well. He's big. Like in the minors, he plays a little bit more fit. I'd like to see him show his physicality more because he's got it, right? I'd like to see. I think sometimes, Struddy, you're a guy who's on the bubble. Sometimes you got to show you're willing to do whatever it takes to make the team. Right. And you know what? I know there's not much fighting. Hell, I've seen guys fight in a preseason game that you're just like, well, I don't really want to fight, but guess what? You're going to. And that's just how it is. And I'm not saying he has to fight all the time, but sometimes I wonder, like, have you done everything possible to get noticed? I've liked lots of parts of his games, but then I just look and say, man, like, you might not have another chance out of camp to make this team, right? And you could make a team that could take you to a Stanley Cup final. You might go on waivers and get claimed by a bottom feeder and go play there, and great, but it's not going to be the same experience. And so that would be my only, I'm being nitpicky here, but that would be my only thing where I look and say, God, did I give everything and did I get really out of my comfort zone to get everything?
Yeah, so I think what you're talking about is find a way to separate yourself. So that can be done through, what you're talking about, but it can also be done like blocking a shot or an incredible back check. Just something that they're like, man, look at the effort. Look what this guy's willing to do to help the team. How are you helping the team the best way you can? So, I mean, I think he's earned a spot. He's got to keep the pace up and, keep winning those face-offs or winning his share of them. But, it's interesting to think about when you look at this team, now with Regula as a guy that they got for, off waivers, so let's call it nothing. Mm-hmm. Connor Ingram, I believe, is a low risk pickup. Again, didn't cost you anything. Freddie Charles is a guy that you don't mind trading away for him. And then Tomaszek, these types of guys, you've got to find these guys that come in and don't cost you anything, but that contribute to your team.
Jason Strudwick joins us. What have you made of Tomaszek? And it looks like Struddy, because, the last game he played when he was playing with McDavid and the big guys, he was on the number one power play in front.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be a challenge for this team because who is the person that goes in front on that on that power play, right? Mangiapane.
No, not for me.
I think. Well, I mean, I know the guys that they did it all last year are all gone, including Hyman, who's hurt. So they got to find, and maybe, Tomaszek is the guy that does it, but, he's got to be, just like you talked about Phil, he's got to be willing to do that. I'm guessing in Europe, he was probably in the bumper or the sidewall position, and moving to net front is a different experience than maybe he's used to. But if he wants to be there, you're taking up space, creating havoc, and retrieving pucks. That's kind of the job, and tapping pucks in when they come to you. So, what does that look like for him tomorrow? And maybe that's his spot in there to have, and maybe that's how he carves out a spot in the NHL because of an injury to Hyman.
Now, I see it being him and Frederick to start, and they kind of split it and rotate because the one thing that Tomaszek will bring them, Struds, if they want to do some different options where now he's in front, maybe you have a set play and all of a sudden he slides back out and comes up that left side, and now he's one time in the puck because he can really rip the puck. Right. And that's, he can like that. Hyman's not that guy. Hyman never, and that's okay. Hyman's very good at all the other things he does. But that to me is the one where you look and say, hey, maybe we'll switch in the part of our power play. Yeah. A lot of teams like, I don't know how much they're studying Tomaszek, maybe some, but probably not a boatload early on. And so you get a power play, you're in, okay, now all of a sudden him and Nuge are going to switch in motion, and maybe they're not prepared for it, because you don't really have to worry about Nugent Hopkins on the left side firing it. Well, you don't have to. He's never firing a one-timer from there.
Yeah, and that's his, like, he's got to take advantage of that, right? He's got to find a way to say, man, we got to get this guy more ice time because, 5-on-5, I'm just interested. Game 10, what does his foot speed look like then? Can he keep up the pace? And because he's smart, you can tell he's really a smart hockey player, and there's a lot to be said for that. But he's got to find a way to become important to the team quickly. So they have to get him, out there, not just on the power play, if that's where he does indeed play, but also 5-on-5 minutes.
What have you made of the Oilers' overall team defense in preseason, Struds? They haven't given up very much.
No, they haven't. It's funny. I thought you might ask me about this today. So I think that they've been pretty good in that. The area I am concerned about, though, Greg's, is the penalty kill.
Yes.
Right now, they look to me like they're neither here nor there. And what I mean by that is, if you look at the first goal last night, I believe it was Henrique. He didn't know if he should come out and get in and block that shot from Mahura or stay back. And when you stay back, when you're that far away from a shooter to the blue line, you're probably not going to block that shot, right? It's just too far away. And what you're doing instead of blocking is you're screening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See,
so that's a dangerous time.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you about the penalty kill. Now, they've changed their penalty kill. Can you describe for our fans, for the listeners, what has been the biggest change for you and what they're doing on the penalty or trying to do on the penalty kill this year that's different from what they did last year?
So what they did is they call it the push down. So the puck would go up to the D-man, and the top forward would come from the middle of the ice and push you to the wall, not let you get to middle ice, which makes sense. And then they'd try to push you down the wall, and then the D could come up and meet you. And now you squeeze them out like a pimple. And so that was the goal. And teams found a way to break that. So now it looks to me like they're going to a much more passive formation where they're not going out as far. And this group is used to going out a long ways, the penalty killers, and the new guys are trying to figure it out. So it's much more passive. Maybe a diamond, maybe you could say that Demon pushes up a bit to try to make it like a 1-3 at times. It's a 1-3 off the rush for sure, but it's a much different look, and it is significant. When you make a change like that, it's very significant because your instincts have been to tell you to go all the time as a forward, and now they're like, no, not quite as much. So, this is going to take a little bit of time. I'm really looking forward to seeing what it looks like tomorrow with what I would call my more traditional guys that are going to actually probably be killing penalties, more long term.
Well, that to me is the interesting one, because if you hear Chris Novak talk about, okay, we're going to try different guys, right? Like Podkolzin, I think, is one guy they're going to use, and he obviously hasn't been here for a while. I think he's one. What do you make of like Janmark and Lazar? Do you have them in your top 12 forwards?
Well, I mean, Lazar, if you assume that Tomaszek and Philp are at center in the third or fourth lines, depending how you stack it all up, maybe there's not a spot for Lazar in that situation. I think it's either one or the other, isn't it? I mean, you're looking at no Hyman. So I think there's probably one or the other in that spot. But then you got to find another penalty killer. So let's, it's Nuge, Cole's in, Mangiapane, is he in that killing group? Trent Frederick, does he get a kill?
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, he hasn't been used much. He's been more on their first unit power play. So I'm going to say no to him probably.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're going to need someone. Then Janmark, Henrique, I guess, would be in there as well. I mean, that's the thing. I'm interested to see who they come up with. And I am always mindful of size, length of stick, and speed. I think those make a big difference in your penalty kill.
Oh God, yeah, guys who can get in the way and just get their stick in the way, right? Like long guys, it makes a big difference at certain times of the kill, no question about it. So you want to be able to use your length, and you got to be quick, stops and starts, get around, and that the penalty kill has been an issue. Probably hasn't been talked about as much, but it's been an issue for this team, and it's something that. It's going to have to find a way to rectify itself. And I know that it's early on in the season, not like tons of teams are doing it, but some other teams, Struds, like they're not coming into the season feeling, I guess, concerned about their penalty kill as much as I think the Oilers are.
No, and I mean, you're not changing your system if you think it's working. I mean,
fair point.
So, you're already, the team is probably a little bit fragile, or the team of penalty killers are already a little bit fragile about it. And now you're like, okay, well, we're going to change it. And so you're trying to learn a new method of doing it. You have some new players inserted in there. The other guy I didn't mention was Matty Savoy. Maybe he's a guy that could be in that because he's really smart. He's quick. Now, not the lengths, right? Not the lengths. And I think that is a bit of a challenge for him and the penalty killers because there's more space to pass around him. But when you're feeling good about your penalty kill, you are leaping over the boards to get out to the penalty kill. And you're like, we're going to kill this no matter what. When you're struggling, it's the opposite. You're like, oh boy, here we go. We're looking for something bad to happen. So Mark Stewart, who I believe is in charge, he's going to really have to work with this group. It's video, it's detail. This is where he wants you to be. This is how we have to do it. And then takes time. This isn't 10 games, in my opinion. It's going to take 20, 30 games to get that fluidity of movement and understanding where everyone's supposed to be in those moments.
Strutty, good catching up with you. Jays, would you rather see the Yankees or the Dodgers? Yankees or the Bo Sox?
Oh, man. I think the Yankees. I think there'd be something special about beating the Yankees. Sorry, Mark Majot. What do you think?
Well, I do agree with you. Probably it's still the big bag Yankees. I just think from a pure matchup perspective, I think they can beat both, and they've obviously beat the Yankees lots. But the one thing the Yankees are very good at, they hit the most home runs. Jays pitchers, what's their one weakness? They give up a lot of home runs. And in playoffs, when now the Jays offense has been pretty good and pretty, a good ability to just wear down teams and get guys on base, singles, doubles here, but doesn't seem to work as much historically in the playoffs, right? It's rare that you're going to bat around as much as they did. Now, maybe they'll be able to pick up right where they left off, but I look at all these teams so far in the playoffs and, many of them we're seeing low scoring games except the Dodgers and Cincinnati. So I'd like the Yankees because you said the storyline, but I think the Yankees are a tougher out for Toronto.
Yeah. And they've got some pretty dangerous weapons. So I don't know. I'm just glad that went to a third game. You get that to a third game and you wear out a pitcher or two. I think that's good for the Jays. And man, if Bichette can get back, doesn't sound like it though, man. Doesn't like he's coming back right away here.
No, that's not great news at all. Strutty, good talking to you, buddy. We will chat with you again.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
There you go. It's Struds on, brought to you by Action Electrical. We'll come back. We got 5 questions, spec, NFL, and much more here from Knobloch as well on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You've probably heard the term supply and demand. Something is needed and someone supplies it. We're GS Construction, and we're in the supply and demand business with you. Edmonton and the surrounding area continue to grow. Infrastructure has to be continually replaced and upgraded to keep up with demand. You see it with new buildings and new roads, but what about below ground, where all sorts of pipes bring you water and take wastewater away? That's where we come in. For more on what we do, go to gsconstruction.ca.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk, Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is sounding the call. Don't struggle through winter with a furnace you can't trust. For maintenance before winter strikes, call Legacy. Call Legacy. For furnace tune-ups and repairs to give peace of mind. Call Legacy. Or to scrap your old furnace for a brand new high-efficiency one. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. And with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your new furnace, it's gotta be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Hot coffee, hotter takes, and the sports stories that matter. Check out Kevin Carriers weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's Sports Leader, Sports 1440. Be part of the conversation. 833-401-1440.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe that life shouldn't hurt. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't know that sometimes it really hurts. I mean, we've seen people at their worst moments in life, when they feel they have nowhere to turn, or at a time when they felt like their problem just wouldn't ever go away. We've also seen people who thought to themselves, it'll just go away on its own, or this is no big deal. I don't want to bother anyone about this. Don't know where to turn to, or think it's no big deal. Either way, we have the technology, techniques, and skills to help you get back to it, whatever your it may be. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order?
Yeah, can I get
Yes. A common reaction from a veggie lover. Always scanning, searching, longing. But wait, what is this we see? The new McVeggie. Now at McDonald's.
Coming up on Icy Road Drivers, Canadians face the repercussions of an early frost. Will this be a bump in the road, bring a stop to their journey? Or did they get an early reminder that it was time to beat the rush and schedule an expert service appointment at their local Toyota dealer? Because it's time to swap those tires, get that oil checked, and store those summer tires until warm days return. Book your appointment today and ready your Toyota for the road ahead.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at Cantork.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$4.50. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, as always, presented by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca, where get in the game, use the promo code Gregor50, make a $50 deposit, use that code, and they'll give you 50. So it's 2 for 1. Match what you donate at PlayAlberta.ca. As it's time now for 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. Stop into the Brick right now. The more you buy, the more you save. 30% off furniture. Mattresses up to 40% off. And anything you donate right now, portions of it anything you purchase, portion of it that's donated to the Stollery Children's Hospital, The Brick, and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1. We've only got 4 more editions of 5 questions before the NHL regular season gets going. So, who's your pick for the Vezina and the Norris winner this season?
Oh, Cons, my pick. Let's go. I actually think I made this. I'm going Vasilevsky in Tampa Bay just because he hasn't won in quite some time. So I think that, and Quinn Hughes. Those are my picks.
Well, I like him. I'll take Connor Halley, great regular season goaltender. Bounced back again to do it again this year. And you're taking Hughes. Makar seems too easy. How about a nice little bounce out year, or breakout big time year for Rasmus Dahlin? Probably seems like a bit of a long shot there, but I don't want to go with Makar. That seems a little bit too easy. So I'll go with Rasmus Dahlin out in Buffalo, and I'm sure they would welcome that. Question number 2 for you. The Rams enter Thursday Night Football as 8.5-point favorites over the very injured San Francisco 49ers up at playalberta.ca. Also, the over-unders at 43.5. If you were wagering tonight responsibly, what would you be wagering on?
Yeah, they are banged up, and it's going to be hard for them to score some points. I'm going to say, I'm going to take the Rams, but I'm just not sure if it's going to be over. So I would avoid the over-under because I don't have a feel in it there, but I would take the Rams, which means I know 8.5 points is a lot, but I think they'll win by 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly just such a banged-up team. I feel like that's a lot for a division rival short week, and I feel like the Niners are coached well, so might sound crazy, but I might take them to cover. Any prop bets you can get with Puka Nacua, maybe outside of touchdowns, would probably be good. He's got 50 targets on the year. Next closest Christian McCaffrey, but 100 yards up when it comes to receiving. Puka Nacua has been fantastic. So maybe the over on receptions and yardage, and then maybe an anytime Devontae Adams touchdown. I think he's cashed in 3 times on the season. Question number 3 for you. The NBA preseason got going today in Abu Dhabi. The Knicks beat the Sixers. With that being said, what is your team to watch this year in the association?
Oh, dude, I'm sick of it. It might be boring, but how can you not watch? Now, are you saying to watch is like a surprise team or just a team that I think is going to be really good?
Just kind of a storyline you're going to be looking out for.
Well, I love the repeat. And I thought OKC was great last year. And I haven't seen any team make changes to look and say they can match up with them. So, and the sad story is, how far is Indiana going to fall? That to me is the story.
Well, I mean, with the number zeros and Achilles in the playoffs last year, how much of an impact is that going to have?
Yeah, Bucks too, right?
Yeah. I'm looking at Wemby with San Antonio. If he's healthy, what can he do? He's put up historic numbers already. How good can they become? And, hey, they're a little older with the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler for a full season. I'd be curious to see what happens with those two as well. Question number 4 for you. You guys were doing non-alcoholic drinks today on Thursday. So when it comes to NAs, and what was the term he used? Drink right now? Something like that?
No, ready-made.
Right. If you're going
ready to RDT, ready to drink.
There it is. If you were going for drinks just based on taste, non-alcoholic style, what is the one you're most likely to buy?
Well, I've tried it, and I like Guinness. The non-alcoholic Guinness is spectacular. That is the best non-alcoholic beverage I've had. Can't taste the difference. I really like it, so I would go with that one.
Good pick. I know I've heard that actually from a lot of people.
Yeah,
that really like the Guinness.
I could hand it to people, and because the can looks identical, right? So honestly, you could hand it to people; they could have one. I don't think most people know the difference.
Yeah, I kind of like the was it like the whiskey Coke one that was brought in?
Yes,
I'm a big fan of the Coke, and anytime you throw in rum, rye, whatever it is, I do enjoy the taste. So that would be definitely the route I would go. I know back in the day, I think Jack and Coke was the pre-made one they had.
A lot of people like the old Jack and Coke.
Yeah, you give me if it's got to be NA, that's probably the taste I would go for. And my final question for you today: on this day in 1957, the bridge on the River Kwai was released. One of the films I've been meaning to watch. I've been told I probably should. So if you go back to that decade, do you have a favorite movie made? And do you have one that you want to watch?
So you're talking best movies from the 50s?
From the 50s.
I'll let you go first. I'm very curious to see what Connor Halley is going to say here.
Well, I mean, I think that I could probably not surprise anyone and tell you that I haven't seen, I don't think I've seen any movies from the 50s. I'm trying to look through the list here of ones that I would have seen. None really popping off on the screen. Maybe the original Godzilla from 54, because my dad would have shown me that, and we just kind of laugh at the graphics that were used at the time.
Well, yeah. It's
you
changed
know,
a lot.
the technology has come a long way. If I had to pick one, it's a classic. Singing in the Rain from 1952. I feel like I might have already seen that one, but I should probably watch it again. So that would be one probably that I'd have to take a look at.
I'm going with Marlon Brando, Streetcar Named Desire. It's pretty good.
That's your favorite from the 50s?
Well, it's one of the few I've seen. So, but it was a good movie. I remember it. I don't know how old I was when I watched that, but that's one. Like, there was more from the 60s that I found that necessarily 50s, but because I really would have went with but it came later, man. Like my dad had a lot of other movies that he watched in his youth that were unreal, but I was looking them up and they were all a little bit later. So
I'm changing mine.
I'll have to go with it.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers. An hour, 20 minutes. Perfect time for a movie. A small town doctor learns the population of his community is replaced by emotionless alien duplicates. That's the one for me.
All right.
That is cinema.
Yeah, there's not really the Bridge on River Kwai probably would be my number one. So I didn't want to pick that one. But yeah, that's a little bit before my time. Now LT, that's in his wheelhouse. He would be all over it.
Well, High Noon is from the 50s. Yeah. And I remember a show he and I did once, The Lowdown at High Noon. So I assume he's seen a lot of 50s movies.
Oh, God. Of course, man. It's right in his prime. Would love it. Now, what was the, I think the mayor was Bus Stop, I think is one with Marilyn Monroe. Some Like It Hot would have been another one that was very popular in the 50s. So might want to check that one out, Collins.
Yeah, why not?
Mm-hmm. See.
She had a good run.
Oh, God, yes.
The 7-Year Itch, just from the cover. I know that's an iconic movie.
Oh, yeah. 7-Year Itch, some people think it's a real thing. I don't know if it's true or not, but we'll see. We will see. Let's get to a sports update. When we return, Spec will join us here on Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. You buy a new vehicle this month and can help feed families. They have their goal to get to 500. They are very close. They've extended it into the month of October. For every truck sold, Northgate will feed a family of 4. See all their vehicles at northgategm.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Couple of roster moves for the Oilers today as they place defenseman Cam Dineen and Raleigh Stimmen on waivers for the purpose of assignment. While on the back end, Lefkonen also going to be going down to Bakersfield with Quinn Hudson, Josh Szymanski, James Hamlin, Will Johnson, Marjala, and Connor Clattenburg all on loan to the Condors. Anaheim Ducks signed defenseman Jackson Lacombe to an 8-year, $72 million contract extension, while the Florida Panthers keeping Nico Mikkola in South Florida 8 years, $40 million. Down in Calgary, the Flames signing head coach Ryan Huska to a 2-year contract extension. On the ice tonight, you got the Bruins, Caps, Maple Leafs, Wings. Panthers taking on Tampa. Islanders in Philly. Blues host the Sens, and the Kings travel to Utah. Major League Baseball action right now. Cubs up on the Padres 2-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Earlier today was the Tigers over the Guardians 6-3. They win that series, now advance to take on Seattle. And coming up at 6 o'clock, the Yankees Red Sox winner gets the Blue Jays in the second round. And in the NFL tonight, it all kicks off in Week 5. Niners and Rams 6:15 from SoFi. Coming up in Hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and hear from members of the Oilers. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports
1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts. And play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocks.yeg.com.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired. Yeah, waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do.
Come back,
Some conditions
Jason.
apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
Ah, Hawaii. The warmth of a golden sunset as the waves roll in. The freshness
roll
of a
through.
waterfall. The lush scent of tropical flowers in the air.
You don't need to travel to enjoy all Hawaii has to offer.
Or
order pizza.
Welcome back,
Bring
Jason
Hawaii
Gregor.
home with the Aloha Trio, available for a limited time at
Jason.
Papa John's. Try our classic Hawaiian, super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken for just $19.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 25% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until October 18th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text check to 780-777-7777. That's check to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Wendy's $4 gets you more than just a burger. It gets you a Dave's Single, made with a 1/4 pound of fresh, never frozen Canadian beef. All for just $4 at participating Wendy's. Taxes extra. But hurry, this deal ends October 26th.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation, 2 weekly podcast with Eddie Steele and Declan Kruger, breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth EE football coverage on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcast from.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Man, today is just flying by. Well, at least it is for me. Hope it is for you as your work week, probably a work day, should say, officially over. Who knows? Maybe you're taking a Friday off. Maybe you're some of those people who just work 4 days, a few extra hours every day. Whatever floats your boat, whatever gets you there. Good. Hopefully you're having a good day. Hopefully it's not too stressful for you. As welcome back to the Gregor Show, presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website, where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at playalberta.ca. Jay's patiently waiting to see who they're going to play. Of course, you've got the Cubbies And Speck will be doing this hit probably with one eye on TV. He's pretty happy, though. The Cubbies currently leading 2-0 in the 6th inning, heading to the 7th inning. So 9 outs away from moving on to take on the Milwaukee Brewers, who are a pretty good team, but the Cubs pretty good team as well. Now, let's get to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. And they are hiring. If you are looking not just for a job, but for a career with opportunities to develop and grow and move up the ladder, it's a great place. So check it out, gsconstruction.ca/careers. You'll find it right there. As Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us once again. Spec, how you doing, my man?
I'm waiting for my Cubs to get a clutch hit here. They're like 1 for 12 or something with men in scoring position. They've had guys on base all day. They only got 2 runs. So
yeah,
they're leading, but they should be leading by about 5, not 2.
I can hear the stress in your voice, buddy. That's what happens. It's a little angst all the time, because you're right. Like sometimes too many missed opportunities come back to bite you.
Yeah, you let the other guys hang around. You let them hang around, Jay.
Very good pitching, though, so far for the Cubbies through 6 innings. No question about it. Spec, the Oilers losing Seattle last night, outshoot them pretty heavily, 37-17. Not a lot of great finish on that one. It had a lot of shots. I'm not sure how many of them were great chances. What stood out for you in the game last night?
Well, I thought Savoy and Regula were both really good again.
Yeah.
So, and if you heard Chris Knobloch after the game, he put Savoy on his team this year. Really happy with his play, really happy with his camp. Thought he played great again last night. He only has 1 goal in the whole postseason, but Howard has 4 points. I tell you that Savoy's been a better player than Howard, and Howard's been pretty good. So I think it's, Jay, I think it's going to be fun here. I think we've been talking about a bit of a spirit of change on the Oilers, like not just running back the same thing again for another try at the Cup. And that was hinging on having young guys that were good enough to make the team. And it kind of looks like they got a few young guys that are good enough to make the team. So that's kind of fun, I think, don't you?
Yeah, no, it's good. Like definitely good enough to make the team out of camp. And then when we get to the real games, right? And then
let's see what happens.
We'll see what happens. And you mentioned Regula, because that puts an interesting look at what the Oilers. So the Oilers, I've crunched the numbers. They currently have 16 forwards, if you include Zach Hyman, 8 defensemen. So, they got to make some cuts here. They got to make 3 cuts to get to 23, because Hyman, it'll be 3, and then you could recall 1, if not 2. If not, well, you can recall 1 after the fact. And you look at it, Hyman, they don't want him to start an LTIR. You'll wait, then you get a date, and then you try to maximize it. So that'll play into it a little bit. You can't, even though Howard and Savoy, you don't want to send them down for a day, because then it's not just their AAV, it's their AAV and their bonus that counts. So that's in the case of Savoy, instead of being an $886,000 player, he'd be a 1.886. Right. So there's no chance he'll go down. Howard, you could do it because he only has $250K bonus this year. Tomasic, I think, is the obvious one who will go down at least for a day, because he doesn't require waivers and he has no bonuses. But you look at, maybe they do all 3 forwards to keep 8 defense. So that's my question. Do you think they keep 8 defense to start, or would they potentially expose one of Stetcher or Emberson here if they're that high in Regula?
Well, I think they're pretty concerned about Boston reclaiming Regula. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, but they would put in a claim in, but they'd have to keep him on the roster. Yes.
Okay, but if you look at Boston's defense, they could keep him there.
Yeah,
their 6th and 7th guys are not the kind of players that you look at and say, "Oh my God, that guy, you can't not play him."
Mm-hmm.
So I sense that they would probably that certainly the Oilers feel like Boston would take Regula. So that tells me they're not going to put him on waivers. Do you start with 8 guys? Do you try to waive Stetcher? I don't know. Do you try to waive Lazar at this point? I mean, Lazar get through waivers, no question in my mind. So there's a lot of different things you can do. Heck, you could waive. You could send Janmark down and solve your problems salary wise, because he makes more than anybody. So they got some options, Jay. I think they'll figure it out. But I don't think Regula goes on waivers right away. I think they feel like if they do, they're going to lose the player.
Yeah, the thing about Janmark that I think people forget is if you waive Janmark, then you're farther away from the ceiling because he makes more than the other guys, right? Like he makes about $600K more than Phil. So then when you go to put Hyman, you're not maximizing your LTIR space. So I kind of be surprised there. It's possible, and maybe they don't care about their LTIR space, but usually you want to be as close to the cap and then put Hyman on LTIR so you can maximize it.
Sure. Okay, well, that's what they pay Billy Scott for. And I know all those cap guys have a big race to see who can be closest to the cap every year.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, they buy whoever is within $10 wins the contest. So listen, man, like I'm not a CBA expert. I'm just telling you what I know about the roster itself. And I think they'll keep Regula. I think Howard and Savoy make the team, whether they get sent down for a couple days or whatever it takes, whatever.
Yeah.
But those guys, I think, are going to be part of this thing here for now.
Oh, yeah. And I like basically it's a weird but a unique good situation because Hyman's injury opens up the door for somebody to get a look. And maybe in a month, they'll be like, geez, this guy's more ready than I thought he would be after 5 preseason games.
That's for sure. I mean, right now it's Frederick right in Hyman's spot, but
but I just mean on the roster, right? Like because if
right.
Frederick moves up, then somebody's on the second line right wing.
I know, but my point would be they are going to get a little time. They're going to get a month to stake a bit of a claim here and prove themselves to be a valuable player because Hyman is coming back and he is going to step right into the lineup and start playing. And when that happens, someone's going down. So,
no question.
So there's a month audition here to not be the last guy standing there without a chair. And that's really when you're when you're a young guy in that position, it's all you can ask for, man. Take that month and make it work for you.
Yeah. Anybody else you like or dislike their game last night?
Anyone else? I don't know. I didn't love the Oilers. Like they took a lot of penalties. It was a very
penalty kill's not great right now.
No, the penalty kill wasn't great. It's preseason, and they didn't have a bunch of guys playing, so it wasn't a great roster. They called up 3 or 4 guys from Bakersfield because of the flu running through the team. So there wasn't anyone that stood out to me like they weren't any good at all that I didn't like last night. Jay, no.
Okay. You look at tomorrow night's roster now that everybody's sent down. Like they've only got like 14 healthy 13 because we haven't seen Max Jones yet. So you're pretty much going to see as close to a full roster as you could get. There might be the odd defenseman maybe that doesn't make that game. What are you hearing on Wallman?
Well, I mean, they were hoping Wallman would get a preseason game in, and now it doesn't look like it. Right? Now it doesn't look like it. So now he's hopefully ready for the first game of the season. Listen, we've seen how these things bleed and bleed and bleed, right? Apparently it's some kind of a core injury, and you know what that means. Those can last. So my feeling is get them healthy. Like I don't, it's early in the season. The defense here is pretty good. They got a pretty decent defense here. Don't force them. Don't make this core injury. We shouldn't still be talking about this core injury in December. Like he should be 1,000% healthy before he's playing. So when's that going to be, man? That's your guess as good as mine. You got a good line on injuries. You better dig into your source in that club. Gregor,
here's I don't waste it in the preseason, buddy, but here's my thing about are you concerned at all, Spec, that Wallman has been a guy who has never played more than like 65 games?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, until I see that, I don't know. What have his injuries been? That's what I would need to know before I had an answer for it. What's he been hurt with? Like if he's get hit by a puck and he gets hurt, that's just bad luck. If he's a guy that's always tweaking something, that's different, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's just, I think it's an interesting one to look at because, some guys you're just a little bit more injury prone than other guys, right? That's just the truth. So, do you want to sign an 8-year deal with a guy like that? 7-year deal. That was, I guess, more of my lead-in question here. Would you be hesitant on a longer-term deal because of that?
That's fair. I mean, listen, if I'm signing a guy to a long-term deal, I'm digging into every little bit of his history and everything about him. The player is well-liked in the room. We know that.
Oh, yeah.
We like the way he plays when he plays. I think we know that. He's brave. Like he was blocking shots, man, like anybody else during that playoff run. He gave everything he had to give. Yeah. So all of that, I got no problem. I like his skill. I really like his shot. There's a ton of good things about this player. I don't mind his age. He seems to want to play and live in Edmonton. That means something to me if I'm signing him. The part about the injury, that's always a wild card, man. Some guys do get hurt and others don't ever get hurt. But I don't think, put it this way, like we can think of guys. I'm going to just throw the name out. Freddie Anderson is the goalie that always gets hurt.
Yes.
And takes forever to come back. And some guys are like, I can't play unless I'm 1,000% right. And that 1,000% right takes way longer than it should to arrive. I don't want those guys on my team. I don't think Wallman's that guy. If I thought he was, I'd think twice about it. I don't think he is.
Okay. Mark Spector joins us. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. You look at the season now, Spec, and how important do you think first place in the division is for Edmonton?
Well, I'd say to you what Connor McDavid said to, I forget if it was me or a whole bunch of people, I forget when it was, but earlier this season, he said, I'm not sure what home ice advantage really is worth. Like, they started on the road and beat LA. They started on the road and beat Vegas. They started on the road and beat Dallas. And then they finally had home ice advantage and lost to Florida. So, I think it's an accomplishment this team's never accomplished. If the spirit of this year, and if what we're trying to do here is find things that you can convince yourself we're a better team than we were last year, that's a place to start. This team never wins its division. So that would bring confidence. They'd be able to look themselves in the eye and say, hey, we're better than we've been in the past. We've taken a step, blah, blah, blah. But in terms of playoff competitiveness, I think the last playoff rounds tell us, the last 4 we watched, the team that started on the road in round 1 won all 4 of them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, well, yeah, last time for sure. So,
what are your thoughts? What do you think? You think it's important?
Well, I think it's important because it means, they've been more consistent. Because I still, the reason they haven't finished first, Spec, is because they have that 1-10 game stretch at one point in the year that's just awful. 2-7-1, 1-8-1. It used to be in December, then they kind of figured out December, but their last 2 starts here to the season, like last year they went 0-3. Now they did manage to win 4 of their next 7 to salvage the first 10 game stretch and but they were still under 500, and then they were playing catch up the whole time. And I just think mentally you're playing catch up the whole time. Not that you care that much about first, but you're like, well, we don't want to fall too far behind. I think it'd be better off to be up there, get a good start for the first time in a while, and then see, hey, maybe we can get home ice advantage because, well, last year it didn't work, but history tells us it's still an advantage, especially when you get to game 7s.
Yeah, listen, no one's going to say you wouldn't rather start at home. There's also less travel involved, generally speaking. You can get away with less travel. If you knock a team off in 5, you make 1 road trip. They did. 2 years ago, they chased Vancouver the entire season, never caught them. Last year, they chased LA and Vegas the entire season, never caught them. And, it was a little frustrating, I would think, to be looking up at the standings every day, and there's 2-3 teams ahead of you, it seemed like. So yeah, it would be a nice change in this city. Like when's the last time they won their division? Isn't it the 80s?
Well, dude, they have the longest drought in the NHL, longest drought in NHL history. They haven't won their division since 1987.
Yeah, that's the longest drought going.
It's the longest active one, and it's the longest one in NHL history. Both.
Wow, I didn't realize that. I knew it was in the mid 80s. So there you go, 87. But that's a long time. I mean, we're pushing 40 years here, bud.
Yeah, dude, it's a long time. Long time ago. And the Islanders are next because their last one was 1988. So it's been a while for sure for the Oilers. And I do think you have to have a goal, right? Like, obviously, there are goals to win the cup. I always argue. There's steps to winning a cup. And that doesn't guarantee you, but it's a step that, okay, you know what? We did what we set out to do. We were a little bit more consistent in the regular season. And now we'll get to the playoffs and away we go. It's just like the roster we see next Wednesday, Spec, who's ever in the game or who's ever out or whatever it is, I still think it'll be 2 or 3 players different when you get to the opening day roster of the playoffs. I still
no question.
Right? They're going to be looking Stan Bowman this year. You look at what Florida did. They don't win the cup if they don't get Jones and Marchand. No chance. So don't underestimate how important January, February, right up till March 6th for the trade deadline is going to be for this organization.
Oh, for sure. And you know that on the deadline, they'll have room for somebody. They'll add somebody, see what happens. You know what? I kind of like what Bowman's done here. Like, he's given us some people to talk about. He's not just bringing in guys that aren't working. He's bringing in guys. You look at Regula, you go, I'm not sure. He might play. You look at Szymanski, you go, you know what? I watched him in his first camp. That kid looks like after a year and a bit in the AHL, why can't he play? I don't mind that player. You look at that little Lepinen, will he play for the Oilers? I'm not sure. Can he play in the NHL? I think he'll play in the NHL, So I think Bowman and the staff for a guy that's, doesn't have any draft picks up high because they trade them all away, I think they did a pretty good job. So, yeah, he'll make a move somewhere at the deadline. They got to have a little cap space. They won't have much, but he'll make a move at the deadline. And you're right, Jay. There will be a couple new guys on this team by the time the playoffs start. Same thing every year.
No, it's very, very true. Spec, have yourself an awesome day. We will chat with you tomorrow. Cubbies.
Cheer for the Cubs, baby. Cheer for the
Cubs. All right. They are into the bottom of the 7th, buddy. So 6 outs away from going to Milwaukee. Should be fun. Awesome.
All right, man.
Have a good one. It's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. When we return, we will hear from Chris Knobloch. Also, we'll hear from Matthias Ekholm, Noah Philp, and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You'll see us digging holes. No, we're not looking for buried treasure. You'll see us digging trenches as well. And no, we're not building a fort. We're GS Construction, and you'll see us in neighborhoods throughout the Edmonton area. So what are we doing? GS Construction provides rehabilitation and upgrade services to Edmonton and surrounding communities. Some of our underground utilities have served us for years and are past their useful lives. We replace them, so they're around for years to come. Find out more at gsconstruction.ca.
Oodle noodle origins. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudel, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the new world. At Ellis Island, Nudel was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as Oodle Noodle.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, hot, cold. Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold till the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Funnel my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a new from Legacy! Oh yeah, save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
Imagine a family get-together where the smiles are as genuine as the conversations. That's the feeling you get at Nisku Ford, a family-owned dealership where finding a new Ford feels just like catching up with old friends. Here, you can take your time, explore the latest Fords, and enjoy the no-pressure atmosphere. It's not just about cars. It's about family, comfort, and trust. The coffee's on, so drive into Nisku Ford or visit nisqford.ca today. Above expectations.
Score an A+ deal on 5G Ultra Home Internet from Explore. Switch to incredible internet speeds and get a $100 gift card for a limited time. Upgrade today at explore.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Enjoy a taste of Hawaii with Papa John's Aloha Trio. Try the classic Hawaiian, Super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken pizzas for only $19.99 each at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
People were cheering for the Cubbies, and they just got another run. Home run into the just above the green ivy, and it is, 3-0 now, Cons?
Yes, sir.
3 Cobb. So looking better for the Cubbies.
Probably about a foot away, too, Gregor, from back-to-back shots.
Oh, yeah, because it went right off the wall, right?
Yeah.
Right after it.
Went to a double, but it was close, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're getting pretty excited in Chicago. That's a great stadium. I went for a tour there. Absolutely, thought it was an amazing place. Like, just so much history there at the Ivy in Minnesota, in Chicago. So I don't know if you've ever been there or not, Cons, but I would recommend it to any of our sports fan listeners. It's a pretty cool place to go tour around. It was a lot of fun.
Lambeau, Wrigley.
Oh, yeah.
Green Monster.
I've been to Lambeau. Yeah, the Green Monster is definitely a place I want to go for sure.
Those are the ones.
Yeah, that's definitely one for me. A lot of text line in 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can always get your thoughts in our email inbox. It is the Gregor Show, presented by playalberta.ca. Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at playalberta.ca. And let's get now to the oil report brought to you by Go Auto. Stop in. Go Auto is the home of the lowest winter tire price guaranteed. Visit goauto.ca to book today. Campaign ends at the end of November, so you got a lot of time, but you get some great deals. Goauto.ca. And Matthias Ekholm, who's one of the guys who's been a little battling some illness bug. How's he feeling?
Really good. Yeah, we've had a good camp. It's always competitive, and my body has been. I've been on for every ice session, so I'm really happy with the way my body feels and the way our team feels.
So good news, Order fans. Has he noticed at all a little bit of a difference adding some youthful guys to this team? Has it made camp different from his perspective?
I think so, for sure. I think that you need youth, you need guys pushing, especially us older guys, to just make sure that everybody's on top of their game. And I think we have some really talented young guys here that's going to take big steps this year, and I'm excited to see what they can bring.
What about the consistency of this defense group? You know what? Look at their top 5 guys. They all returned them from last year. And where does he feel they are at collectively as a group because of that?
Yeah, both yes and no. I don't know how many games we actually were a full decor towards the end of last year. So it's still a bit of feeling out and you get your partners or whatever. But for the most part, same guys. So that helps a little bit. And nobody's new to the system or anything. It's just a couple of tweaks, and we got to make sure we're on top of our game. And I think as a decor, we're very confident in what we can do out there.
Well, you'd think they should be. Like you look, a lot of people, if you read rankings, the Orders are a top 5 defense core. in the National Hockey League. And I think sometimes people in Edmonton, they're like, Edmonton's been a back-to-back Stanley Cup finals. You know, you're still some people, Bouchard's terrible. And I'm like, what? What do you mean terrible? He's far from terrible. He might make the odd terrible play, sure, but that doesn't mean he's terrible when he makes way more good ones than bad ones. And they're big, they're mobile, very offensive. And that was the thing, like Regula, that's the one thing that he has as a big distinct advantage for me over Emerson and Stetcher. He's just got way more size. Connor on the penalty kill, 5-on-5 in his own, and Wallman, the fact that he's probably not playing tomorrow. I won't be surprised I think if you see Regula with Nurse again tomorrow, lock it in and he's on the team. I think he's probably there anyway, but I think you can read between the lines. If he's playing there again tomorrow with Nurse, I think the decision's been made.
I would agree with you. I mean, like, they brought him in here for a reason, right? Claimed him off waivers, kept him around. I feel like there's just that anticipation that when he gets out there and, gets into the regular season, real hockey, I think he's going to play well. And yeah, like you said, 6'4", 210, 215.
Mm-hmm.
You like to see that on the back end. So I'm with you. I'm really intrigued to see him out there in the regular season and see what he does, because the anticipation's been there. We've seen those questions coming in essentially since they claimed him.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a lot of people want to see it. So, hey guys, I'm headed to CFR and I have parking for lot A, and I'm trying to figure out if that's under the rink or outside. And the internet is no help. Can you tell me, Skippy? Well, parking lot A, I'm trying to think of, if you go in on, because there's two entrances, you can go in on the east side or the west side. And, is A on the east or the west? That's a good question, Cons. I think it's the east side. Someone out there knows. I think it's the east side entrance, but we'll try to find the answer. Anybody know? My parking pass isn't A or B, so I know which mine is, but it's not A or B. So I'm curious which one it is. So 833-401-1440. If you know, if you're entering on the east side or the west side, which one's A? Let us know. Because you probably could enter from both sides, I think, but don't quote me on that one, because I only ever come in on the east side. I've never entered on the west side. So I know there's an entrance there. I just never got in that side. Lastly, tomorrow, hallelujah, is the final preseason game for the Edmonton Oilers. The NHL preseason wraps up on Saturday, and then the regular season begins on Tuesday. And does that go now? It's your final preseason game. You're going to have mainly NHL roster tomorrow, probably same thing for Vancouver. Is the excitement noticeable even for a veteran of his age?
Yeah, for sure. This last week is it's a bit of a stretch. We have one game, and then we have like 4 days before the first game. So it's the same for everybody. So it's not anything different. But yeah, for sure, it's going to be nice next year when they shorten it a little bit. I think it's been a lot of practices, so I'm ready for the games to get going.
Yeah, a lot of practices, no question. So hey, trust me, they're just like you. The players are just like you. It's like I hear some minor hockey teams that are having way too many practices. Like you got to have more practices and games, 100%. But and I've heard having a 2.5 hour practice at U13. Like, are you delusional? A 2.5 hour practice? Give me a break. Like, who is booking this stuff? Stunning to me. Like I could see if maybe you had an exhibition game or something, the team canceled, but no, 2 hours, 2.5 hour practice. Do you know how much NHL players who it's their job and they're in elite shape? The longest practice maybe is an hour. Maybe. We're asking U13 kids to have 2 hour practices. What are you doing? That's my question. Noah Philp, the illness going around the room. He obviously missed practice the other day, didn't play last night. How's he feeling?
Yeah, a lot better. Just trying to catch my wind back. Getting better every day, though. Yeah.
And training camp. He's got 4 points in 4 games. Points I know aren't everything, but how does he feel training camp has gone for him?
Pretty well. I feel like I'm making strides forward as every player wants to be, and you just got to keep putting in the work, and hopefully the results follow.
Well, I think the way he's played, he's definitely put himself in that conversation and say, hey, this is probably a guy we need to give a look to. I think that's valid. right? Like I could make a real strong argument that if you have Jones, Stetcher, and Tomasic for one day down, and that's your roster, I could easily see that happening. So we'll see. How does he feel his game is at now compared to a year ago?
I think just a little more confident in playmaking, skating, just trying to be an impactful player all around, and I feel like I'm doing that right now, and hopefully continue it.
Well, yeah, you know what? I would agree for him. I think this has been the most impactful I've seen him in training camp. And it's hard. It's a limited time. There's limited games. It's difficult. And make no mistake, the players on the bubble know going in, they're on the bubble, right? It's not like they go in there, oh, I got this team made, like no problem, right? Like Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, like there's guys that we know are not going to sleep at night worried about their spot on the team. But there's lots of guys who go into the camp and you're on the bubble and you want to play your best. And sometimes it becomes your biggest hurdle can be between the ears of telling yourself, okay, I'm ready. I'm good enough. I deserve to be here. And you got to repeat that. You got to believe it. It can happen. I'm sure some people in work, you're in sales and you've been doing sales for a bit and it's up and it's down. And hey, I'm good at this. I can do it. And a lot of people, you can psych yourself out pretty quickly in thinking you're not good enough to do it. And then that is definitely a challenge. I don't think there's any debate about that. And obviously at an NHL level, when everybody's like watching you, you can't really hide, right? Like you can be a sales guy, you can be a teacher, whatever. And you can be in a position where not all eyes are on you, right? So it's not as like, oh my God, someone's watching me. They know what's happening, right? It's just different. So I'm kind of, I'm intrigued to see where Phil, when the regular season, let's say, makes the team, that'll be a big bonus out of camp. But when you're a guy like that, like, it's not like, oh, I made the team out of camp and now I can relax. Now it's like, well, I made the team, but now I want to be in the lineup every night. And that becomes the next step. And it's hard. That's why getting to the NHL is damn hard. And staying in the NHL, I would argue, is probably even harder at times for the non-dominant player, right? It becomes a wear mentally for many, many players. And honestly, it's no different for bubble players in the WHL, even in the AJHL, because sadly, like you can get released, you can get put in the press box and, you're riding a bus for 4 hours and then you get and you're not playing. Like that would be the worst, right? Like it'd be the worst. And you have lots of kids who do it. And, I respect them, young men. And, you're in the dub, you're on the bus 4 hours of the team and you're not playing. That is like you do in the NHL and you're getting paid big money. You're not doing that. And that's where I see it happening. And I think parents sometimes, they're 16 or 17-year-old kids sitting on that. Wow, they're gaining experience. BS. They're gaining no experience. They're losing their confidence probably more by the day than you ever think. And they're not getting better as a player because they're never touching the puck in games. They're not playing. Sometimes when they play, they're playing 3 minutes a night. And it's just not good, right? It's not good. And I think some people, the hard decision, it's not quitting. You're saying, I'm looking at what's best for my long-term playing ability, and I want to go play somewhere. So, hey, can we have a conversation? I just don't think this is working out for me. Because they can go find a 19 and 20-year-old, no offense, to sit around. You're a 16, 17-year-old, you should be playing. You're much better off playing midget AAA, U18, or junior A if you're a major junior player who's not playing. And I remind it every year because here we are. You're coming up to 2-3 weeks into the season. Now all these WHL teams they're getting all their players back from NHL camps. And now you'll start to see it. The next 2 weeks as a parent, now don't be a helicopter parent. And don't call the team on this is your son's. They got to you can have the decision, say, you need to go in there and have a conversation. You have to. It's hard, but you got to do it. And if he does it first and doesn't work, then I think parents can be like, hey, guys, like, what's your plan here? My son's sitting here rotting on the bench. It's the end of the month. What are we doing? You have to have that. Hey, Gregor, why do you think Regula never got a shot? He's 25 and he's on his third or fourth team. Well, man, guess what? There's lots of guys. Development isn't just a straight up path, right? It's not. Stan Bowman had him in Chicago, so he's only on his third team. So let's not over exaggerate, right? He was in Chicago. Then he got claimed on waivers, I'm pretty sure it was, by Boston. Right? And then now Boston, honestly, I think they believed that they could slide him through last year. And he was going to go down to Providence. He was banged up. He was going to go down there because he knew people down there. It was an odd decision. I don't know why they just didn't keep him on the injured list and say, hey, you want to go live in Providence and train there? Okay, no problem. We can do it. So it was a weird thing that they did, but hey, man, he wouldn't be the first defenseman who is a bigger body that took a little bit longer to develop and teams gave up on him. There's lots of them. And there's lots of players by the age of 24 or 25 that are playing on different teams, and some of them are good players, right? It happens. So, there's lots of guys who just, they go to different teams at different times, but, I can't give you an exact answer why. I think injuries played a small part in it for Alex Regula, but probably like Chicago wasn't a very good team, so he probably got rushed into the NHL, wasn't ready, plays a few games, then he's down, then he's up. It's a good question, but I don't think there's one specific answer. And like 25, he just turned 25, by the way. So he's never been a 25-year-old in the NHL. He's 24 because he turned 25 this summer. Lots of guys aren't in the NHL till they're 24, man. Lots of them, because they play, they're drafted, then they go up and they're down for the first 3 years of their career. Happens all the time. Probably more than people think. So. Quick break. We'll come back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. It's a Gregor Show presented by playalberta.ca.
Hawaii. The warmth of a golden sunset as the waves roll in. The freshness of a waterfall. The lush scent of tropical flowers in the air. You don't need to travel to enjoy all Hawaii has to offer. You just need to order pizza. Bring Hawaii home with the Aloha Trio, available for a limited time at Papa John's. Try our classic Hawaiian, Super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken for just $19.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 25% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until October 18th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts, and play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocks.yeg.com.
Did you know The Brick is proudly Canadian-owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality-made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. The Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a Brick store near you.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Yeah, can I get yes. A common reaction from a veggie lover. Always scanning, searching, longing. But wait, what is this we see? The new McVeggie, now at McDonald's.
Albertans celebrate a bounty of beautiful places to visit, boundless adventures to take, all in driving distance. And Sherwood Honda has the fuel-efficient vehicle that helps you go even further and appreciate more. Hybrid CRVs and Civics mean more thanks in your tanks, more great trips to be grateful for. And of course, Sherwood Honda is thankful for the chance to help you get there. It's a beautiful time of year, and it sure would be nice to hit the road with Sherwood Honda.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.546. So, yeah, I was looking at Alex Regula. So, he was actually drafted by Detroit in 2018. And then he got traded 1 year after being drafted. So, that's, he got drafted at 18. He went back to junior. It's kind of odd. Like, he gets drafted by Detroit in the third round of 2018. In his year after being drafted, he improves his points by 14. But then Detroit's like, you know what? We're going to trade him to Chicago for Brandon Perlini. So that's actually a really good trade by Chicago, I would think, right? Brandon Perlini, like, good for him. Great guy, like, really good human, great guy to talk to, but didn't turn out to be a great NHLer or even a regular NHLer by any stretch of the imagination. So then he's in Detroit. Then he's in Chicago, and gets traded to Boston as part of the Taylor Hall trade. So it's not like he's a guy that nobody likes. You're getting traded there with Ian Mitchell for Taylor Hall and Nick Foligno. So came highly regarded. Now, Boston, I firmly believe, thought they could slide him through because he was hurt. But Stan Bowman, guess who acquired him from Detroit? Stan Bowman. When you acquire a player, you never forget. You never forget. And so then Bowman went and snagged him off the waivers. I think they thought that Regula was going to have a chance to play last year, but obviously due to the injury, he never played. And now he comes in, and it's good. So there you go. Hey, Greg's side A. Well, Skippy just texted us. Hey, guys, it was the east side. And, yeah, that's what I thought it was, Cons. I said, oh, I was coming to the east, but I never want to give the wrong advice. Plus, we had a texter, Dave, who said, basically came in just a minute ago saying he was 99% certain it was east side. So, Skippy, we're glad you're there. Hey, Greg's, who signs first, McDavid or the Teachers Association? Well, I'm going to hope it's the Teachers Association. And because now you got to get a deal that's reasonable for them. I understand it. But that is one where, here's the thing. All of you can enjoy hockey. You can enjoy your life. It's not any disruption in your life. McDavid isn't signed until Christmas. The longer it goes without school, it's not good for kids. Imagine kids in high school. Are you kidding me? Like, that's a big year. It's a big year for them. And then I know there's lots of families. There's lots of added stress when it comes to this. So you're going to have to kind of fly by the seat of your pants. Luckily, I think some people have a little bit more flexibility in where they can work, and so they can stay home. But that's not gonna last forever either. So we'll see. I'm just gonna say this. I hope, but I don't know. Just get to the negotiating table, go in good faith, and figure it out. Like, come on now. That would be my thoughts on it. So we'll see. We shall see. I have never hid behind the fact that I think it's a job that's incredibly difficult. And when you look at, like, I just have a valid question for, our province claims we have this $8.3 billion surplus. We, like talk about being richest province, whatever. Yet right now on October 2nd, no province in the country pays more or less per student in this public school system than Alberta. Why is that? I just want to know why. Can someone explain to me why that is? Why are we? Education is one of the most important things. Teaching critical thinking, right? The better thinkers you have, they have investments, in innovation, all sorts of things that they will do when you have more education at the disposal. So why are we going backwards? That would be my question. That would be my question. And I'm sorry, I don't really buy into the, teachers are greedy. Can't do it. Now, let's get to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Cam Tate, of course, a longtime journalist in town. Cam has cerebral palsy. He's in a wheelchair, but through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life now in the 2-minute warning.
Right here at the 2-minute warning, we're trying something new, folks. We're going to punch a couple of words into this so-called artificial intelligence word machine. Let's see what we get. Ready? Miroslav Halinka. Yeah, let's try that again. Miroslav Halinka. Now, before the robot changes it to Mickey Mouse or Mary Poppins, let's play it safe. Let's call him Miro92. That's right, Miro. His first name and 92, his jersey number. Has a ring to it, don't you think? And boy, Miro92, the Toronto Maple Leafs 2024 draft pick, didn't just show up in Regina Wednesday night. He took over. 3 points, 2 goals, and 1 assist. Oil Kings 4, Pats 3. That's a road win, baby. And don't forget, this kid had 45 points last year, but zip, nada, nothing in the playoffs. Maybe this year he's doing something different. His second goal? Pure hard work, short-handed. Rips the puck free at the blue line, takes off like he's got somewhere better to be, and roofs it. You know where? Upstairs, where Grandma Anderson keeps the peanut butter. Gavin Hodnett and Andrew O'Neill chipped in too. Oil Kings roll on. Moose Jaw Friday, Brandon Saturday. After 4 games of this young Western Hockey League season, your Oil Kings are 3-1. And if the AI doesn't change his name by then, Miro92 might just be the story again. 2-minute warning. Gregor, Halley, Tate. Sports 1440.
Oil Kings are going to be good this year. I think they got a real logistic shot, Connor Halley, to win their division in the regular season. They are a team to watch. So if you're going to the games, I think more often than not, you will be leaving feeling rather fulfilled in how they play, because they got a good team, and it should be a pretty good year for the Oil Kings. No question in my mind. We've talked to Jason Smith on the show many times. We'll continue to talk to him. They're going to be really good, Cons.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we've seen it the last couple of years here, just the progression. The younger guys coming in here, we know the cycle it goes in junior hockey, right? You do what they've done, you're going to struggle for a couple seasons. But the players that they brought in and the Euros, and I'm looking forward to Noah Ta'amu. Big kid, I think just 17 years old now, from San Diego. His father played pro football, I believe, in the NFL. So I'm going to see what he can do this year. It's early, 4 games in, but he's someone I'm going to be watching for.
Any football connection, the commands all over it, eh? I like it.
Well, he also is cousins with my childhood neighbors. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's it.
That's awesome. I love that. Okay,
yeah.
There you go. So fantastic. We're pretty fired up. Tomorrow, final preseason game. We will know all of the second round baseball matchups. We'll talk about the CFL. Elks, they'll need a little bit of help. BC wins this weekend. Then it still comes down to the Elks. That game against Winnipeg, it's a must-win game. It's basically a playoff game. Keep your hopes alive. You got to beat Winnipeg. If you beat them by 14, then you'd have the tiebreaker. So that's something else. But they just got to win the game to keep their playoff hopes alive. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Loca. Do food differently with Loca Quality Market. 2 locations to serve you better. Edmonton, off of 142nd Street, and in Sherwood Park on Baseline Road. See more, all the great food, loca.ca. Good night.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Chicago Cubs are 1 inning away from wrapping up their series against the Padres, currently leading 3-0. Earlier today was the Tigers getting past the Guardians 6-3 to win that series. The Tigers will now take on the Mariners. And at 6 o'clock, you got Yankees and Red Sox from New York. Winner of that one against the Toronto Blue Jays. Week 5 in the NFL kicks off tonight. Rams and Niners from Los Angeles. That one gets going at 6:15 in the NHL. A couple of signings today. Jackson Lacombe, 3-0, 8 years, $72 million with the Anaheim Ducks. The Florida Panthers signing defenseman Nico Mikkola to an 8-year, $40 million deal. And Calgary claims keeping head coach Ryan Huska in Calgary, 2-year extension for the 50-year-old. On the ice right now, Panthers and Lightning tied at 1 apiece. Leafs on top of the Red Wings, 1-0 after 1. And the Capitals have a 1-0 lead, taking on the Boston Bruins. Later tonight, Blues host the Sens, and the Kings head to Utah. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, we've got Fox Sports Radio all night long. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. with Kevin Carius here on Sports 1440, streaming on our YouTube channel, Sports 1440 AM. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440.